Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson. I'm your host, Dr. Jefferson, and today we're going to dive deep into some of this racism talk, and we're just going to go all the way down the rabbit hole. We really are. So, I want to go ahead and say shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit out and, come early to the show. I know that normally my preview time is 11 p.m. um, Shout out to the moderators as well. Hopefully, you guys can keep this show peaceful and we can have a great discussion around this issue. How are you, Big Kane? How are you doing? Because at the end of the day, I want us to kind of leave the table with a different light than what we came to the table with. Because when people say things like these things that I've typed into the description, they can trigger people to do some pretty hostile things. And one of the number one or leading microaggressions perceptually by Black people, when white people say, oh, well, I have Black grandkids, or my daughter's dating a Black guy, or I've got like tons of Black friends. So many Black people are triggered by that. And that's actually more confirming um, that you're probably racist, right? And that's not to say that all people who have that to say are racist. It's just to say that that's something that typically triggers us. And I can be very transparent about that because at the end of the day, when you know what your issues are, when you know what things bother you when people say them, you're in a better space to behave, operate, move, shake in a different way. Um, so this is a very interesting exchange. Okay. Um, Interesting exchange. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hey, Mr. Brooks, how are you? What's going on? Joy Chit Chat. Rush, what's going on? So go ahead before I hit play. Go ahead and share this out really quickly. I'm pretty sure that you guys heard something about this. Excuse me, already. One sec, my bad. Kind of got a couple of screens up here. I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard about it. It's not like it's outside of media. So I'm gonna put it up here.
To hear from me.
I would like.
I didn't even tell her to start talking. She just started talking. But let me rewind a little bit, share out the video, get the likes up, do all that. Share out the video though, so we can have everybody watching at the same time. And that way I don't have to go all the way back because I'm going to rewind it twice over the course of discussion. And if you find that you're triggered by the content that you hear here or you see here, sit with me a little bit. We're going to process this today.
Ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I am asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a Black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me, I'm saying
Okay, So, as you guys watch this, what was coming up for you? What are your thoughts? What are your reflection? What are you thinking about the exchange that's taking place right here? Just out of curiosity. Did anybody feel like either one of these young ladies were wrong? You know, so this is Cheryl Underwood. For the people don't know who they're watching. This is Cheryl Underwood and Sharon Osbourne. Okay. Um and this conversation happened on last Wednesday. And CBS has now launched an investigation, an official investigation. Now, this kind of goes to what I was discussing on one of my shows around accountability with another clinician the other day, as it relates to Black people pulling a race card and that kind of stuff. So, my first question for you guys is, do you feel like I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play it one more time. I'm gonna play it one more time, and then I'm gonna ask the specific questions. Um, let me play this one more time. So I'm gonna play it. You guys are gonna listen. Let me know what you're seeing here.
But I want you to hear from me.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I am asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me, tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me, tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a Black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me, I'm saying
Candy Girl, you are 100% welcome. So, all of you guys who are moderators, make sure that you guys do a fantabulous job of keeping our chat free of controversy. I'm just kidding, not controversy, but the extreme drama. Okay. So, let's go. Let's see what you guys got. So, what do you mean, Mr. Brooks? I need you guys to give me your unbiased opinions. So, not the opinions of everybody else. That's why I played it so many. I want you guys to look at the exchange between the ladies and tell me what it is that you see taking place in the video. Like, what do your unbiased components of yourself? So, Sharon Osbourne has been a point of many people's interest, as so many folks kind of question what is going on. Like, when you're looking at her body language and her disposition and the way that she's saying what it is that she's saying, the lack of empathy and that sort of stuff. Like, if we look at she says a lot of things. Let me tell you. So it's a couple of things, you guys. I feel like The phases of life are so cruel to you sometimes. And this is the thing. When women become over 50, there is something that happens to us. Like there is, the changes of life can be very difficult to you. Um it's it's a lot of stuff, okay? It's a lot of stuff. So it's not that she's being offended for being called a racist. It's not just that though. I don't think people have kind of looked far enough into this. So she came under fire when she called Kim Kardashian a hoe. Do you guys remember that when that happened? Anybody? No. And she's already talked very openly about a lot of her emotional distress that she's been going through over the course of her lifespan. She tried to kill herself in 2016. She opened up and started talking about her attempted suicide and kind of where she was and kind of where she is now. um and I have a few complex thoughts around the whole Harry and Meghan Markle's interview as well. So on Wednesday, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background for those of you who haven't watched the actual episode, and for those of you who don't know what that part is about. Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of looking at you guys comments. Right, so that's kind of what I'm getting at, Trey. So during Wednesday's episode, and what I want you guys to understand is just give you guys a little context, okay? She's from Britain, okay? So there are some things that I think are assumptions, and we make assumptions because things are going on in the United States. And it doesn't mean that those same issues, and I've talked to you guys about this a million times over, because I'm an intercultural person and I have lived in so many different countries, and I've had a chance to witness and see and sit with so many things and so many interactions between people. And of course, how do people interact with me? People interact with other people that I see, the way that we respond to climate, culture, color, and all of that stuff. And nobody is unaware of what's going on in the United States. For the last 60 years, I can guarantee you, nobody has been unaware of what the United States has been going through. Nobody could avoid it. So, getting to this, um, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood are having this conversation, and they're discussing the controversy around Oprah's interview of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And so Meghan Markle claims that she's faced widespread racism at the hands of the royal family. That's her one claim, which leads to some of her mental health issues, which I'm going to speak on in a different video, because I have a lot of things that I have to say about the way that Meghan responds, reacts, manipulates Harry, and it's a lot of stuff there. So the issue came in to play when there are questions about whether or not Meghan Markle is being authentic, if she's being honest. Okay. So just having that question in and of itself, Cheryl feels like this is racist. Okay. So I just want to point out that piece right there, because I feel like that's the most important thing. So let me go ahead and let me look at what you guys are saying over here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you turn 50, things happen. It's not great. So, isn't Kim Kardashian? Isn't she a hoe? Is that what you're asking? I'll give you. I'm gonna send you the link. Give me just a sec too. Um, hold on. I'm gonna play the video. Do you need me to play the video one more time? Let me play the video just one more time. So this is where the conversation is at the point where she makes the comment. Sharon Osbourne makes the comment, well, she doesn't see where he's being racist, because she's basically saying a person asking about a validity of a person's comment, a person questioning your ethical compass is not a racist intention. And we had this conversation just the other night, just in relation to something else. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She's 100% narcissistic personality disorder. The question is whether or not she is or isn't sociopathic in it. So, says, what I mean is they don't think it's as bad as it is until they visit. I have black friends from Italy, and she was blown away when she traveled from Miami to okay. So, yes and no. Okay. What I'm not going to do is give you guys my age, but I'm going to say this. I've seen, as a person from the outside coming in, I've seen America at the height of integration, okay, and had to come up in that, and had to be the one that was divided and pulled between the races, essentially, because of my parents. So, what I will say is this: there are a lot of things that are up in the air, so to speak, when it comes to the perception of racist interactions, racist statements, racial undertones, and things like that. So I think the problem with this culture is so many people that want to do the bandwagon thing, and it really is absolutely terrible to have to openly admit it, but there are so many black people who will do whatever it takes for them to avoid being accountable for their actions, right? And so I think that that's one of the things that is just, you know, it's really sad. It's really sad. I'm 25 for life. You're gonna learn today. um I think that, thank you, Candy Girl. But I think that we have to look at the facts around this conversation. Now, if you guys see racism, if you see a racist in this particular interaction right here, because this is the point of contention, this is the part where the producers are saying, okay, let's go back and look at this. Let's check to see if there are racial undertones, blah, blah, blah. If you see it, the moment you see it, I want you to type a one in the chat. And I mean, because I gotta be we're gonna break this down. So I'm gonna hit play. Let me know where you see it.
But I want you to hear from me.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I am asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation. You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me, tell me, when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me, tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism.
I don't know why
it's
he
the
just will not
implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a black woman, and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me,
Okay, so tell me where you guys saw it. I'm waiting. What was racist? Because I'm still trying to find it. Yes, Cheryl Underwood and um, this is Sharon Osbourne. They're talking about. Okay, let me look at this. Hold on, let me make this thing. How do I make this go away? Hey, Chance. You guys, shout out to Chance, my son. Say hey. What's up? This guy. So, does she need to be black? So you don't feel it? Wait. Are we saying that Cheryl's not black, or are you talking about Sharon? Oh yeah. What's his name? I can't remember the dude. Is it Morgan? Hey, Stranger Talk. How are you? I don't see the racism in her. I don't see. So they're referring to Morgan. Let me make that clear. They're referring to Morgan questioning Meghan Markle's candidacy in her conversations with Oprah. And so you said it's racist as of 2020. Before they changed the definition of racist, it wasn't considered racist. So help me understand. So having a conversation, this is interesting, Miss Sandy. Elaborate. What makes Morgan questioning Meghan Markle, who by the way is not black, because we're not black, because we're not American. They don't have that. So make it make sense for me. Right, Trey. Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. So make it make sense to me how it is that, because when Meghan Markle registered here for citizenship, she didn't select black, by the way. The one thing we have in common is that the father is of pale skin, and her father's from right here, and he's very white. So United States has a problem with that. But help me understand how questioning the integrity of a person is racist, because that person appears to be black, because black people want to deem whatever they see of color theirs. Make it make sense, Miss Andy. I'm gonna wait. Oh no, they don't have her censored. The thing is, I think that she realized that she had misspoken. And that's what I told people. Like, I think she realized that she had misspoken before she was questioned by Sharon. Okay. So sometimes we can mistake a situation, and it's okay for us to mistake a situation. What I did not like that Cheryl did is she tried to bring Sharon back in by playing the friendship card, and manipulating it. And that's one of the things that I gotta say I just do not like. So when we hear people say things like, oh well, I have black grandbabies, so I'm not racist. When we hear black people say I'm black, so I can't be racist, when we hear people say, "Oh, I got lots of black friends, so I'm not racist." When you hear all of these types of sentiments coming from people, for whatever reason, there is an overarching assumption that that removes the title of racism from you. Okay. I'm going to just call a thing a thing. When you tell me what you're not trying to do, the moment you start a conversation off, have you, and I want you guys to really think about, let me make myself bigger so you can hear what I'm saying. Just, connect with me here. Okay. If you start a conversation off with, I don't want to, I'm not trying to, well, I don't want this to look like, or I don't want this to come off as, but when you do these things, you're literally letting a person know what your real underlying intentions are. So if you're having a conversation with me and you're like, you know what, Key, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know what, I don't like the fact that you wear wigs. That's almost like walking into a room filled with women and calling those women a bunch of hoes because they're not virgins. Even the ones who are married, you somebody's hoe. That's like saying that. So it's just as offensive. The moment you start your comment off with, well, I don't want to be, or you know what I mean? As soon as you reposition the way that you're speaking in this conversation, what it tells me is your true intentions are to be disrespectful. Your true intentions are to have me seen as a racist. Your true intentions are to avoid accountability, because at the end of the day, what you say on record in an interview with Oprah is kind of revered as this superstar. Okay. Okay. So if Oprah sits down and does an interview with you, it kind of makes you a celebrity. It kind of gives you a certain status in society for many people, especially people outside of America. So what I see is that Meghan Markle, like everybody else, got on and wanted to ride this gravy train. And so many people have been just blinded because they're like, oh, it's a black lady in in the royal family. Like, only Americans do this. You guys, come on now. Make it make sense to me. Right. So her mother is black, but the father has the dominant gene. I just mentioned that. And in America, that's what they base that off of. That's just fact. The only time they go off the mother if the mother is American, and her mother is not black because her mother is not from America either. She's from over there too. There is no such thing as black people. Let me explain something to you. Black only exists in the United States of America. Leave the United States, please, before. See, my problem is when we have these accountability conversations, I need factual conversations. So before you guys come to the table, do me a favor, travel a bit abroad and realize there are certain things that are limited to America, which is why I have a very interesting statement that I say in the intro for my page, that I'm having conversations about issues that affect the Black, brown, and melanated community in America and abroad. So I say that for a reason. On all documentation, on birth certificates, and all of that stuff, there is no race for us, for anybody else but America. The only thing that exists for everybody else on their official documentation is their citizenship status. And that's typically from whatever country they came from. There's no such thing as a black and a white African, a black and a white European. It's just I can't. Just saying. Just saying. So sometimes we can perceive that a thing is happening that isn't happening, and that's fine if that's what's happening for us. But I think that we have to be, as Mario J says, adult up. So you got to be an adult enough to admit that, admit it. What I'm not gonna do, Money Boy Trey, is entertain you. Hold on just a second, you guys. I gotta I figure out what's going on with my one of my MacBooks doesn't want to connect to the internet, and like I don't know any of these passwords or whatever. So I'm not the expert here. Jasmine is. Okay, well, Miss Sandy, if I'm wrong, then show me your citizenship papers. So all I need to see, you okay? So you keep saying lived outside of, but I'm so when you've lived outside of some place and that's not your country of origin, we can't have a conversation. So I'm Finnish American. So I need you to understand that it just doesn't exist. Or go find somebody else that has their citizenship papers. Birth certificates are citizenship papers, just to let you know. You know. Oh man. So looking at a person's skin color isn't a thing but here. Because it doesn't matter. It has no validity. None of that. It says Finland. Finnish government. Of course you can have dual citizenship, but on your citizenship, so let's look at an American. Let me do that. Hold on a sec, Trey. I gotta do this computer really quickly after I copy this link. Here you go. But so anyway, tell me it's no race. We don't have race. It's not on any of our documentation. Any. And yeah, we are all happy because we're in all different shades, but guess what? What we don't have is the chaos that's here. Just don't. Why? Because nobody thought of dividing people based off of the color of their skin. Like it's really not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's not an intelligent thing to do. So look at you. You people are sitting here having emotionally charged conversations, right? About somebody having a perceptual racist experience. So nobody can just not like you because of your family that you came from. So nobody can just not like you because they feel like your mother was a whore. So nobody can just not like you because they feel like your mother stole their boyfriend. Like it's none of that stuff. It's just the fact that your skin color is brown. Help me understand. I guess that's where I get really confused, but I'm asking you to show me the racism and nobody's able to point out the racism. Show me the racism. Come on, Rush, show it to me. Where is it?
What up, Doc? Now
What's
you're saying some crazy stuff right now. Yeah,
Well,
man.
tell me where. No, point out the racism here. Point it out. I'll go directly to the minute and second.
Well, as far as sharing ours bond, um, you know, like
Yeah, point it out. Point it out.
like
And
we
hold on,
share ours bond
let me
like
get to the point. Hold on.
looking at this looking
I'm
at this
gonna
clip.
go. I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna go all the way as far as to let Cheryl start to defend herself. Okay,
I
I'm
want you
gonna
to hear from me.
hold on.
I will ask.
And the reaction
Hold on.
implicatism,
Hold on.
exact words of racism.
Mhm.
It's the implication and the reaction to it. To
Implication and reaction to it. So wait, I asked you to point out the racism, and what you tell me is that yeah, I said that you're a racist in a roundabout way. I accused you, but you know what? What I'm really saying is it's really just around implications and the acceptance of the possibility. Point out the
I mean,
racism. Money Boy Train, where is
as
it?
far, as far as this clip, I
Ma'am,
don't
there
really see
is
any
no
racism.
racism in
But
there because the person that she's claiming black is
Morgan.
not black.
Yeah, but wait, no, she wants the fact that Morgan questioned Meghan Markle's authenticity of these racial barriers and this mistreatment based on her race, right? Not the family she comes from, because that's the part that Americans don't know.
No, but Cheryl prefaced it by saying he questioning a black woman's
Right.
sincerity. She ain't black, so you got there. There goes the racism when you say that she's not black. The racism card is gone.
Oh no, because Americans can deem you black. They will give and take away your black card.
Well, I stopped being black when I didn't vote for Biden, so I'm used to it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you're used to hearing that. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Where do you think you got that from?
right. Well, the only reason why I said drop the link, you said that as far as other countries outside of the U.S. do not look at racism.
It's not
Um,
look at racism, sweetheart. No other country has a
it is. It
classification
is.
of race.
I've lived. I lived in many places. I
You're
lived in many places.
American. You are
I lived in many
you
places.
are
I
American.
lived
So
in many.
you have a
I've
race.
lived in many places outside
Where?
of the U.S. And trust me, I
Name
lived
one.
in Central America, Panama. I've been in Dominican Republic. I've been
I've
to Costa
signed a
Rica.
shitload of birth certificates of babies that I've delivered in every other country, and I've never seen
And I'm
race
telling you, they're pretty
anywhere on it.
racist. They even have special words for us in their language. You know what I'm saying?
So okay, so you're talking about the way a person looks at you and regards you from your country of origin. So when you call a Mexican woman
Not
Mexican,
not just me. The melanated people that's from that country are treated badly too,
no. So you're
just
talking about
because of their skin
treatment. So
color.
that still has nothing to do with a classification system of race. There is no such thing.
That
So,
there's
for
many
example,
black
on your
people
test, no,
would not agree with you
okay, I don't care what
from
they
that
agree about. I'm
country.
talking about the facts. On
They would
standardized
not. They would not.
testing,
They would
it
not
asks
agree with
you
you.
it tells
With
you to
within that
select your
country,
race.
especially the Haitians in Dominican Republic. They
Yeah, but
will let you
it
know
doesn't it
they're
doesn't matter.
treated
Even in
badly
Haiti,
because they're
look,
black.
guess what? Even in Haiti, it's no such thing on their documentation. It don't say select black or white Haitian. I'll wait.
Within that environment, you are treated differently
Yeah, but
because
you're
of the
making
skin
a
tone.
completely different argument. So race is a classification system that is significant to only America because that's the only place in which it exists.
No,
That's
that's
it.
not true.
Okay,
That's
well,
not true.
okay,
If
son.
racism doesn't so are you saying racism only exists in the United States of America?
She's bugging.
Racism,
Black people aren't treated differently
nope,
in
that's not
Japan
what I'm
and
saying.
China.
That's not
Bugging
what I'm
right
saying.
now.
I'm saying
That's what
race,
she's saying.
the
But
classification system
for
of race. The,
racism to exist in other countries, that means they have to base it off your race.
no, they don't.
So if there are
No,
black people that are
no,
in
it doesn't.
China that
No,
aren't
it
from
doesn't.
China,
Guess what?
wouldn't they be?
if Black American people went to China and white American people went to China and Chinese people are in China, if a Black person is discriminated against in China, or if a white person is discriminated against in China, it can be considered racism. Why? Because those people that they are discriminating against are the races where their country classifies them based on race. Race does not exist anywhere as a classification system of people except the United States.
Doug, I think you've been rich too long. I
It
think
doesn't
that's what it
matter.
is.
It doesn't matter. Race, you don't
Because
understand. Maybe you're not hearing,
there's
you're not
millions, yo,
hearing.
there's
Well,
millions of
I
black
know
people in
racism
different
exists
countries.
up there in Canada. They look at blacks differently up there.
No, no, no.
I,
Maybe
I,
you're
I,
still
I
missing.
have several
So
Canadians on the show
didn't
that
say
vouch for
anything.
this.
I didn't say anything about colorism. I didn't say anything about racial disparities that are based off of people that come from America. I didn't say discrimination. I said race. Race is, let me look up the definition and pull it up for you so you can see what it is. Just wait a sec. I got you. You guys love Google.
Colorism is amongst every nationality. There are darker Hispanics than other. There are darker Indians than other. There's
Wait.
darker Arabs than others. So colorism is there, and those people are treated differently.
Okay. No, you're still talking about treating differently. So you're talking
Yes, I'm saying
about
in the colorism aspect, yes, the treating.
discrimination and race. The word race is a different thing. I'm about to pull it up. Hold on. Wait for it. So, where are you? Google link. There we go. So, what does that say?
I didn't know you was gonna ask me to read, Dr. Jefferson. Dang. Race refers to a person's physical characteristics such as bone structure and hair, skin, eye color, skin, race, ethnicity, however, and your ethnicity and skin, however, refers to cultural factors including nationality, regional culture. You got to slide it back over. Ancestry and language. You can have more than one ethnicities, but you are said to have had something if it's mixed race, even if it's mixed race. Well, it does say skin in there and race. It says skin and ethnicity.
No, so
And
race
language.
exists here. Ethnicity exists everywhere.
But it just in race, it said that skin and ethnicity can be used for race.
No, they didn't. They said that's the difference.
It's in the first. It's in the
However,
second sentence.
no, it says ethnicity. However, that's how it's different. It refers to cultural factors. So race is here, ethnicity is everywhere. So when I say race does not exist anywhere else but in America. It's a classification system that is used right here and only right here. When you go in and get your, what do you call that thing? Driver's license, right? What do you think you have to select on your application for your driver's license?
Here you have to select black, white, Hispanic. I mean, black. It says African American, white, Hispanic, Asian, other. I don't know about other countries.
Okay, hold on. Let me go and get a Asian person real quick for you to log in, so they can tell you what's on in Asia. Let me go to the part really quickly.
You've been rich too long.
No, go ahead. Read this.
And you the bottom part of it says you can have more than one ethnicity, but you are said to have one race, even if it's a mixed race.
Exactly. Because
So that's it's
in
still talking about your black, white, or mixed.
that's still America's classification system. It's nobody else's classification system.
I need to see your birth certificate, doctor. It just say finish went under there because it's supposed to say whatever y'all is, Afro finish, Caucasian finish,
Have all that.
whatever it get. I need to
We don't
see
have
the
all that.
classifications on the birth certificate.
We don't have all of that.
Well, I
What
don't know
does
how
it
they get
say
down. I
then?
don't know how they get down in
It
Finland,
just
but in
says
other
finish.
countries, if you
It
black,
says finish.
you get treated like shit.
I don't agree.
Yeah,
Nobody has
nah,
ever,
I mean, of course
nobody has
not.
ever in the history of my life treated me like shit at home. Ever.
When was
Nobody
the last time you were there?
in my life
Maybe Finland is
treated me like
different.
shit here. A couple
I
of
ain't
years ago,
never been to
year
Finland.
before last.
I
I
don't
ain't
know.
never been to Finland, but you go to DR with that shit. They'll let you know you black real quick.
Miss Sandy says I'm living in a box. That's great.
We know Miss Andy is Kevin Samuels.
Right, Candy Girl. I think that they're missing that part. So I think what they're saying is they want to have the argument of discrimination. However, we're not talking about discrimination. We're talking about the classification system in the country, which is race. Now, it's very possible that since black people want to take everybody who looks like them and make them a black person, regardless of how they self-identify, Meghan Markle can be considered a black woman, right? And she can make the claim to racism. Yes or no?
Kimbo J. Tony Parker said he was a black Frenchman, sir. So now you've heard of one. Nicholas Batum says he's a black Frenchman. So that's two of them.
It's
I
still
can keep going.
not on any of their documentation. Show me a driver's license where it says black.
I'm just going off what these niggas said.
Yeah, because Americans label people based on the color of their skin. So colorism is a thing that has been around since America's classification system improved. What was that, 19?
But if you're not used to that, why
So
would you classify yourself as something you're not used to doing? Like
what do
he's
you
not
mean?
supposed to call if he didn't if he's never been called black in France, there's no need for him to come over here and say he's black. He can just say I'm French and leave it at that.
Yeah,
Well,
unless he came from another
Doc,
place and his family came from another place and that's their culture.
do you
Mhm.
know? Do you
Damn,
know
cuz.
in India? Do you know what they do to the Africans in India?
What do you mean? Which Africans?
The Africans that's from Africa, but they reside in India.
Well, you could have asked the
Do you know
guy that
what?
was
Do you
on the
know? Do you know what they
show
do to
a week and a
out
half
there
ago.
in
He
India?
lived there for 12 years.
They banished all the African descent people into the wilderness because of
Well,
their
he
skin
never
tone.
was Spanish, and neither is his sister. She's still there now. So that's what I'm saying. You guys hear a lot of stuff, and you tell yourself a lot of
It's not
things.
a hate, but these are facts. You could
You could have
Google
asked
it.
the dude. He was
They
right on the
banished
show.
the
The African
African
guy that
descent
was
into
on the
the
show.
wilderness.
The African guy that I had on the show the other night, you could have asked him about his vast experiences while living in India. That's where his sister and her husband live right now.
Well, he's probably wealthy. He probably
And
has
That
money.
nigga
they've
was
been
a
there for
simp.
20,
He
20
can't tell
years.
me nothing. He was a simp.
Oh my God. Okay.
He wasn't keeping it
They
real.
banished all the
Whatever
Africans
you
into the
say.
wilderness
What if you
in
say?
India.
So
You know that, right?
look, they're just
You
doing
know that dude
You,
wasn't
you,
keeping
you,
it
you
real.
can ask them if they
This
feel.
nigga talking about polygamy ain't a thing. Where in Africa he was lying. He just couldn't make this shit
no,
work.
it's not everywhere in Africa. That's what I'm telling
We
you.
know it's not
It's very
everywhere, but he
select
was talking
small
like
places
it.
in
He was
Nigeria. It
talking
ain't
like
trust me, it's
it.
not as big as you think it is in Nigeria. Trust me.
Well, then he's still just speaking for Nigeria.
That's where you guys were talking about it. The person that was making
We
the
were
comment
saying
that night, wait,
Oh
the
well, I
person
know. I was saying
that was
Africa in general.
that person that was making those comments that night was specifically speaking to Nigeria. That's where the man
Okay,
grew up.
so Doc,
So
what you're trying to say
you can't tell him
is
that.
that in Finland they don't look at you. They don't look at you as a black person. They look at you as a Finnish
Finish.
person, right?
That's it. Finnish American
I,
now.
I, I
Put
don't
some
believe
respect
So
on it.
there's no prejudice on you being a darker colored Finnish woman.
No, never. Never.
Hey man,
Like
Man,
my
I think
very
you need to
first
see the
time
doc,
having
Doc.
conversations about anything American or even we didn't even talk about skin color then. The first thing they wanted to know when I went was like, "Oh, well, how was it there? And is it true what they're saying about the division of the people and the fighting of the people?" No, they're
Yo,
not
Doc,
fucking fighting.
maybe Finland is different.
So
I don't know. I've never been to Finland. Maybe they're not racist out there. I don't know. But I know in different countries, if you black, you get treated like shit.
Well, I've never been treated like shit in any country, and I've been to several of them. Now, I will say I've
Like
been
where?
treated even better
Like
than
where?
in some places.
Where?
I've lived in China, Japan, Malaysia, Africa, in Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon.
Do you
I mean,
know? Do you know what Africans
I've had some,
call? Do you
I've
know
had
what
some
Africans call
interesting.
African Americans? Do you know what they call us?
I don't know. They call you Black
They call
American.
us akatas.
No,
They
they
call
don't.
us akatas. Do you
So
know what
the
that
ones
means?
who have an issue
Do
with
you know what that?
Black Americans,
Hold on, wait a minute. Now, we can't skip this now. Do you
oh,
know what that means? Akatas. It means a wildcat that never had a home. That's how they describe us. You don't think that's pretty racist?
no, I think that that's just
Oh
a group of
man,
people who doesn't like a group of people describing them.
you all. I don't know,
That's
man.
that's
You
a
been
bias.
you been rich too
So
long,
it's
dog.
that's a
That's that
bias.
funny shit.
That's not inherent racism still. Which I mean, are you gonna call it racism because they black as you are? So
You get treated you get treated differently because of, like you said, ethnicity and cultural wise and the language you speak. Like
cultural, yeah. So let's talk
for
about that.
example,
So
for
cultural,
example,
so
for
culturally, you're
example,
gonna have biases.
if you're amongst the Latin community with
Mhm.
pale, lighter skin Latin community, do you know what they call us in their language? They call us cocolo, muerto, prieta. These are all racial discrimination towards the skin color, and
No,
these are
no,
the languages that they use towards us. I
no.
speak two different
Okay,
languages
so help me
fluently,
understand.
and like yo, I'm telling you, man, there's other cultures that
Exactly, Efron. Exactly. So help me understand how you take the feelings, the sentiments of a select few of people, and you want to
select
use
group,
as you
select
want to
group,
use that to
go
be
out there,
representative of
right? Go
everybody else.
out there as a
That's
dark skinned
racism as well.
individual and see how they treat you.
Rush,
I
we
yeah,
can't hear shit you saying, Rush.
so obviously, what you haven't seen is I have a very diverse group of people that I hang with. And I have lots of pictures on my several Facebooks of me in various countries with various women of various backgrounds. So while in those countries, in their hometowns and visiting their families and doing the things that we do when we visit, including going to Mexico, I just don't have those experiences. And you know what? I've never seen them be that way towards Black people either. And I could
You're
speak
lying.
to some other
It's
ways that they are, but
propaganda,
I'm not
yo.
going to
You're
do that because
lying.
I'm a good
Yo,
friend.
the blacks out there in Mexico will let you know what time it is, man. They'll let you know they're treated differently because of their skin tone.
So Mexicans in general
Same,
are
same
part
thing
of
in
the
DR, same thing in Puerto
Latin,
Rico. They'll let
Latin
you
and
know.
Hispanic. Yeah, I was just about to say they have disparities amongst their own type of people within their culture or ethnicity. And Puerto Rican people feel the same way about them that some white people feel about some Black people.
Dr. Jefferson.
So go
A
ahead.
2011 poll showed that 66% of Finnish respondents considered Finland to be a racist country, but only 14% admitted to being racist themselves. Minority groups facing the most negative attitudes were Finnish, Kale, Somalis, which were from Somalia, and ethnic groups mostly consisting of Muslims, which are typically a dark breed. In
No,
December
they're
2012,
they're from
the
India.
they're darker. In December 2012, the Finnish police reported an increase in cases of racism and related physical abuse.
You
Oh,
know
this
why?
is where you from, right there.
So
This is
you
where
know
you
why?
from, right?
Because when people come over there with certain things that come from their culture, we reject it. It's a natural thing. I said that culturalism is definitely an issue.
Hey, yo, man, she
The
trolling us
racism
right
is an
now,
issue
yo.
over there
She
too. It
trolling
says
us,
Somalis.
yo.
So
Black
Those are
no,
skin
black
so
tone
people.
is not a
Somali. Okay,
problem.
I'll give you everything else. Somalia. Those
no.
are people from Somalia.
Okay, so
They
look at the
dark.
reports. Look at the police reports of the people that made the reports that were Somalian. Show me one black one. Show me one dark one.
Minority groups facing the most negative
They are a
attitudes were
minority group.
Somalis.
They are a minority group because they did come there fearing retribution from whatever it is that they say were going on in their countries, and they did a lot of things there that they should not have been doing. But go ahead, tell me about what the color of those people's skin look like.
Now you know darn well I'm not pulling up these people's police reports.
You
They
can pull
don't
up the
show that.
news reports that
But
show their
show me
faces.
a whole bunch of light skinned
They have,
Somalians.
they have pale faces. They look just like what's his name is.
So there are no dark Somalians over there.
What's the rock name? Dwayne
None. It's zero.
Dwayne Johnson. No, I'm just talking about the ones who made the reports.
That no, Dwayne Johnson is Samoan, not Somalian.
I'm talking
Somalia is the
about
little poor
skin
country in
color.
Africa.
I'm talking about the skin color of, I don't know where he's from. I thought he was from America. But so the skin color of them look like him. So, and even in that,
Nobody would consider The Rock light skinned though.
You're
I
for
thought he
real.
was white.
Just because you haven't experienced the mistreatment from being a black person doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Yo, shout out to Miss Andrew, yo, for real. Big ups. And that's a fact. You know what I mean?
So
I've
you guys
experienced
really think?
I've
Okay, so
experienced it living outside the country. You know what I'm saying?
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So Miss
Yo,
Sandy is talking
Doc
about
is
400
trolling us,
years
dog.
of
I'm
slavery.
telling you.
Slavery has been a thing since 600 BC.
Yeah, but we're not talking about slavery though. Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks.
No, that's what Miss Sandy says.
Okay.
After 400 years of slavery. So have we been on this earth over 2,000 years or 400 years? That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys have the arguments are illogical.
Yeah, honestly, I think because of your social economic status,
Is
you
became
might not be you might
I
not
just thought it was
experience you
another
might
white
not
man.
experience the things a normal black person would experience outside the country.
I don't consider it to be a normal black person because I married a black man, and guess what? He didn't experience those racial disparities either, in or
Listen,
outside of my presence. I
if
have
your money
7
long,
black
if
sons.
your money long
They
enough,
never experienced those experiences
Doc,
either.
Doc, if your money's long enough, you might not receive the treatment of a person that makes 20,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like
So
look at
what
LeBron
comes along?
James.
Okay,
Look
so
at
wait,
LeBron James.
pause.
Look
Let
at
me
look
pause.
at
So
look
what
at
comes along with the
look
person
at
that makes 20,000 a year? What comes along
huh?
with it? What comes along? What's another component that comes along with making $20,000 a year in a place where you can only survive if you're making 50,000 a year? Run it.
You gotta what do you mean by that?
What is something that goes along with, comes along? What are behaviors, characteristics that go along with people who are making $20,000 a year in an economy where, in order for you to just survive, you must make 50,000?
Well,
I'll wait.
okay, I see where you're getting at, and you're kind of proving my point.
So that's not
If if
racism. That's
if
classism. That's still not racist. That what? So what I'm trying to get you to
no
understand
no
is
no
that
no
people
no
will
no
be
no no no
discriminated
you're not gonna
against.
show me. You're not gonna show me, homie.
No,
Yo, listen.
I'm just saying,
Nah,
people
nah.
will be
I'm
discriminated
saying
against regardless. In
because
Iraq and Iran, there are most people who are discriminated
because
against, and they're
because
all Iranian. They're all Iraqi.
because of your social economic status, you're not gonna see the things from you're not gonna experience the harshness of life compared to an individual that grew up in a projects in Marcy in Brooklyn, New York. It's just not happening. You're gonna be treated differently because um of your social economic status. Now, because of your social economic status, you're not gonna receive the harsh treatment from an individual. You're not gonna receive the harsh treatment from an individual that's poor and black. You know, When you're poor and black, you're reminded that you're a black person. But when you have enough
How are
money,
you reminded?
when your money's long enough, you get exempt from certain things like that. You know what
Okay,
I
so
mean?
you just said when you're poor and black. So that means that you have to first be poor, right? So that's still classism.
You look at that class. Listen. Okay. Let me explain it like this, right? Yes. You know, in different countries, black people are treated fucked up. But
What are
if
the
your
classes
money's
of
long,
those
hold on,
people?
hold on. If your money's long enough, like say for instance, if I take the money that I make here and take it to like Colombia, I probably get pretty good of the of because of my social economic status. But if I don't have that and I'm living in Colombia, I'll just be another black Colombian that get treated like shit out there because of my skin tone.
So so here's the thing. What you can't say is there is racism where classism or socioeconomic status prevents you or shields you. For you too, Refron, you cannot say racism is the prevalent issue if classism or socialism, your socioeconomic status, shields you from experiencing said racism. You want to know why?
What I'm saying because of
No, wait.
your
You want to know why?
because of your social economic status supersedes all that. It
Still,
doesn't matter
no, wait.
because
Do you want to know? Do you
your
want
brand
to know
long enough,
why?
Doc. Your brand long enough, so
But
you're
still,
not
do you
gonna
want to know
see.
why you can't say that?
Well, I can't say that.
Because there
I,
are still
I'm a
several
black
black
man that lives in many
people.
places, and I'm telling
Wait,
you, these
so
things
there are
exist.
several black people, and just like the one I said, Morgan Freeman, there are several black people who were in the film and music industry prior to these advances that have been made in racism and all that good stuff, segregation, integration. There were several black people who experienced racism regardless of how much money they had, regardless of how much talent they had, regardless of how much money they had the propensity to make. They still experienced racism because racism was a prevalent issue back then. It was a prominent overarching theme of being in America back then. That is no longer the case right now. It just isn't. So for you
No,
guys to continue to pull the race card where racism
that's
is
in your
not an
world.
issue,
That's
no,
in your world, but
it's
in a
not in
black
my
person
world.
world,
It's in
we don't
every
see
world.
that.
So
Yo,
wait,
we don't see that.
let
That's
me
in your
pull up
world.
Morgan Freeman's response to how it is that you end racism. Wait for it.
Well, I'm not going to take no advice. He's a
I know what
multi-millionaire.
Morgan Freeman said.
Stop talking.
Ignore it, which I
And no, and
understand.
stop talking
He,
about it
yeah,
because the
well,
problem
same,
is
yeah,
you
Taking that
people,
advice. He's rich.
you are
He,
constantly
he's a
vicariously
rich
traumatizing
black
people
man.
because when
He
you
ain't
talk
gonna
about it,
he's not gonna
he
do
Russ,
wasn't
that
always
same
rich.
Russ,
that
are you,
I have.
Russ, are you gonna let somebody else talk, bro?
He wasn't always rich. First of all, that's the first thing. He lived through segregation and integration. That's the second thing. So the third thing is this: he
He's a
realized,
millionaire.
like
He's rich.
me and
He's
everybody
rich
else
now.
that lived through that, that
He's rich
racism
now.
is not the centralized focus of being American now. The problem is you people handing down vicarious trauma because you think you know what racism is. You've redefined it and decided to put what you wanted in it. The same thing goes for the feminist movement. They've redefined the entire overarching theme of the feminist movement and decided to make it be what it is that they want it to be. It's the same thing that's happening with
Nah,
the English
nah,
language here.
nah,
You
nah, dog.
redefine it as black
I guarantee
people
the Haitians
and
and
make it
Dominican
what you
Republic will
want it
say
to
you're
be.
wrong. I
Period.
guarantee the Haitians and Dominican Republic will say you're wrong.
It doesn't matter.
They
Here in
treat
the
it different.
United
They're
States,
treated differently because
here
they're
in the
dark skinned
United
and they
States,
speak a foreign language.
that's not the
That
question.
is racism.
Here in the United States, racism
That
is
is
not the
racism.
centralized argument here. You can't come to America and make it if racism is a thing preventing you from doing it if you're an African.
You're just totally dismissing the fact what I just told you.
I'm not
I
dismissing it.
told
What
you
I'm
the
saying
Haitians
is,
and Dominican Republic will look at you like you crazy right now.
so I
You
know
just
plenty of very
crazy.
successful Haitian lawyers,
Okay, then yeah,
and they agree.
Haitians and Dominicans don't like each other though.
I know plenty of successful Haitian American lawyers, and they agree with me. My
okay,
sentiments.
Okay, and I
So
guarantee
the
you they all sell
reality
out.
is the
I guarantee you they
overarching.
all sell out.
So it
We
doesn't
call
matter.
them
So you're calling them.
diasporas.
So you're calling them a
We
sellout.
call
Why?
them diasporas.
Yeah. So
That's
you're
what we call
calling them
them.
these names because they are the people who have
Because
superseded
they
the
sell out.
expectation that you
They
feel
sell out and they think they white.
come here and live
They
in.
want to be. They want to be like. They want to be like white niggas. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes
And if
sense.
it's not true, and if this is not true, tell me why Sammy Sosa bleached the skin white.
So it doesn't matter.
He bleached his
That
skin
doesn't
white so he
matter.
could be accepted
That's
by
look,
his
that's his
oppressor.
business. What I care about is the propensity for succeeding in life if you put forth some effort, regardless
Oh
of
my
your
God,
skin
man.
color.
You gonna tell me
So
racism don't
if
only
you
exists in America? You're bugging right now.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that is not the overarching theme in America because if it was, people would not be able to come here with black and brown skin and make successes in a country
But
that has an
you're
overarching
saying that
theme of racism.
you're saying that because in Finland they don't look at race; they look at
It's
you as
not
a
about
human.
that. It's not about that. Right now, the
That's
conversation is
not. They
focused
do
on
look at
America.
race in Finland because
They
they
do not.
constantly said black. They
Yeah,
said black in the
That's
articles I
in
okay.
dropped in there
Find me
several
that
one
times.
article.
that
Find me one
that
article
doesn't
that
happen.
dates before 2000.
I just posted. I copied and
Before
pasted some of
2000.
the. I copied and pasted two of the
Before
captions from the
2000.
article that was done in 2015.
So before 2000, you're not listening. Find me
Yeah,
one
God.
article
It
Yo,
don't matter
where
when
they're
they.
talking
It don't
about
I'm
matter
gonna see
when they
something right
changed
now,
it.
yo.
in
It doesn't matter when
2000.
they changed it. They're doing it
No,
now.
they're not doing it now. It's not on your ID. So if they're not doing it, so it's not a classification system. It's something that everybody in the world is talking about because America made their imprint.
But did
And
you
they're
not
not.
see the comment I dropped it? Did you not see the comments from the
I saw
article
your
I
comment. That's
dropped in
still
there?
after 2000. It's after the
But
about race.
because it happened after 2000. Okay, we still have to acknowledge that it happens now. They consider
It doesn't.
black
It
people
doesn't.
black people over there.
So the thing
Who's
is,
emotional?
if
Yo,
you come from America and you go and you apply for citizenship there, you have to be considered black. Why? What's on your documentation? What's on your ID? I'm
I
listening.
just know it said black people. The
Because
65% or
on your
whatever the number was said black people
You're
and
right,
said
because
black
on your
people
ID, if you go
experience.
to another country, if you go to
But
another
it didn't.
country as an American black person or white person,
But
that's what you
Somalis, we're gonna talk about the minorities that they mentioned, the Somalis and all of them, even all
the
the
Somalians are not black.
ethnicities first. But I'm saying they started out listing the ethnicities, then they went down and said black people in Finland say that they're discriminated against, and black people with children in school. This is what the article
I'm
said.
sure
Black
they
people.
do. I'm sure they do. But if you come to a person's country and you expect for people to treat you a certain way, but they don't have to treat you that certain way, you're gonna feel like you're being outcasted. The reality is they don't speak your language as a native tongue. So at the end of the day, there are going to be some barriers to communication that make it look like it may be some bias there. It doesn't mean there's a bias there. It's the same thing that black people get from the Hispanic people that are waiting in my waiting room. And then they get upset when when they approach me and they're like, well, when I was trying to talk to them, they were ignoring me. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they're racist. It has to do with they don't have the understanding for what your needs are or what you're communicating.
Parents in Finland with black children also reported the highest levels of racial discrimination in primary
So,
education
so
with the
race,
so
full
how you explain that?
45. But it
yeah,
called them black though, black children.
so if you come from America, I'm gonna say it again, and you are
Why do you keep
military
assuming
now,
that when they say
because I
black, they're
already
talking about
know.
Americans?
Because I already know. Why do you think I referenced after 2000?
Why wouldn't it just call them Americans then, ma'am?
They can't because American system is based off of race. Maybe you're not
This is
listening.
true, yo.
So
This
they
is true.
adopted, so they've adopted
This is
America's system.
good.
No.
This
So
is
your
good. So
classification system says black, white, mixed race. Yes or no? Yes or no? So when you apply for citizenship in another country, what do you select as your classification system? Other. And you write in black, white, mixed race. That is what you must write in. Because
But
guess
you're
what?
assuming
When
that
you
these
come to
people are black. These
America, I
people could have
know
been from, these could be black Finland. These could be black people that were
there
born
is
in
there is
Finland. You
no
don't
such thing
know.
as black Finnish. There's no such thing. We don't have race classifications.
Apparently it is. This is what the
Oh,
article's saying.
so in your
So
culture,
you saying the only
I'm
black
gonna
people
say it.
in Finland originate?
So wait, I'm gonna
Go
say it
ahead.
slowly. In your culture of origin, if your culture
You don't
of
have to say it slow.
origin,
I can hear just fine. You don't got to say it slow.
obviously not, because I've said it like 13 times. So if
And
your
you're
culture of
denying facts at
origin
this point.
makes you black by way of your documentation, that is what another culture must put on your documentations when you're transferring citizenship or you're applying for dual citizenship in their country. Because you're now not French, you are black. You're not black American, you're just black because that's what's on
Well,
your birth certificate. Yes
but
or
with
no?
all that being said, they still say they experience racism.
I'm sure they do because racism is
But you said it don't happen over there.
so racism is perceptual. So if I feel like these people are not talking to me, giving me, speaking my language, doing the things that I want them to do to shape and mold their culture to my needs, what else would I call it if I'm
You
black?
also said American. You also said that they don't call black people black over there, but you just said
No,
they
I
gotta
said
call
the
Americans black.
classification system.
You said
Their
it's not
own.
anywhere in the world but America.
Okay, so the classification system of black and white only exists in America. Prove me wrong. Find it.
You just, but I don't have you. You just told us that in Finland, if you coming over there to get citizenship, then they're gonna call you black based
They're
on you
not going
being
to call you
American. So
anything. They're
that's
not going to call
so
you anything.
that's them being
Your
called black.
documentation, no, your documentation requires them to address you as your official documentation, and that is black because that's what's on your documentation. Unless you got something else,
So there is racism
it's not.
in Finland against
Racism
black
is
people.
perceptual. So if a person that is black from America go there and they feel like they're being racially targeted or discriminated against, that's
The
still
police
their
reports say that
perception.
racist assaults have gone up.
Okay, so
Police,
what
the
what
police
what do
report
black
said
people
this.
do here? What do black people do here?
That's cool and all, but I'm just trying to
Okay,
figure
so
out
if
if
you go to a
black
different
is you.
country,
I'm just
nothing is
trying to
going to
figure
change.
out if black is a universal thing or not. Because in one
It
breath
is
we
a
say it's not
universal. It's
universal.
not. No, I didn't. What I said is the classification system of race. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because obviously it's not soaking in. The classification system that a country uses to categorize its citizens is what is in existence for their official capacity of labeling people within their community. So America's classification system is a race-based system. Yes or no?
I don't something. I think my end is breaking up. You have to ask that question again.
Americans' classification system is based on race. Yes or no?
Yes, I didn't know other countries adopted our classification
So
system though.
when Mexicans come here and apply for citizenship, does it say black, white, Mexican?
It says Hispanic.
Does it say black,
So that's why I'm asking you
white?
why in Finland wouldn't it say American instead of black?
It says, does it say black or white Mexican for your country of origin?
Yes, it says if they have a child, it would ask them black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other.
Nope, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Pull up,
actually does say that in America. In
okay,
America, it does. I can't speak for no one
pull
else,
up
but I filled out a
America's
shit
pull up
ton of
America's
applications.
citizenship application. Pull it
Hmm?
up and share it off your phone. Pull up America's citizenship application and share it off of your phone. Today, y'all
Fuck
are
a
going to do something.
citizenship application. If they go fill out a job
That's what matters.
application,
That's
a,
what
a
matters.
rent application, a rent
That's what
application
matters.
asks them
That, so
anything they
before you
have to
can
do
no,
outside of the
no,
government.
before you
Anything
can
they
do
have to do outside
anything
the
else,
government.
no, before you can do anything else, you must first be a citizen. So guess what? If you're not a
No,
race,
that's not true.
this is
Illegals come
what I'm
over
gonna
here
do.
and fill out shit all the time.
Wait.
And they
So
put
if you're
Hispanic
not
down.
okay, so look, is that black or white? Yes or no?
It's Hispanic.
Is it black or white? Yes or no?
No, because they have their it's neither because they have their own category.
What's their own category?
Hispanic, or do I need to say it slow?
They still have to
Applications. If
select
they go fill out an
black
application,
or
that
white.
if you're a doctor, you've worked in the hospital, so you didn't seen these forms filled out, and these motherfuckers say
And they
black,
still
white,
have to,
Hispanic, Asian, other.
they still have to select black or white.
Not at the hospital. The hospital, they got four
Yes,
options.
they do. They have, that's ethnicity. So they still have to select black or white. They do. So in America, when you apply for citizenship, you must first indicate what is your legal documentation status. Your legal documentation status is whatever country that you are naturalized, where you were born in, or whatever the last country you had citizenship in. You must then indicate that particular identification or classification system. After that, you can move forward in identifying with a race selected by Americans' classification system. They must first select race. It's going to be black or white or both or mixed race. After that, they have to select ethnicity. Yes or no? Yes or no? It's on your standardized test too. It's on your driver's license application too. Make it make sense for me. So the point is this: race is a classification system here in America. That's indisputable. You can't dispute that. However, in this particular video, I'm trying to find out where the racism is, and I don't see it. Neither of you pointed out what racism is.
We both agreed that there's no racism within that clip you showed us. We understand that. But what you said earlier, you're saying that in different countries do not, I guess they're not discriminative towards black people. They look at everything as it's, I guess, from a cultural aspect, and we're saying that that is not true. If you're a black man, if you're a black man in China, you're gonna be treated different.
Hold on. The official urban
If you're
therapy
if
is
you're a
like
black man
I am being
in
condescending,
Switzerland, you're gonna be treated
and I'm
differently.
not. I'm not. What I'm saying is racism, the perceived racism that Meghan Markle has, is under question. Whether or not she even had racism to be a thing that she experienced based on her interview with Oprah. The fact that somebody questioned whether or not that was the truth or not, or whatever, now became a conversation where Sharon is accused of being racist as she supports Morgan. And his question as to whether or not she was telling the truth.
Yes, from that video clip, we can't see that. We can't see the racism. Yes, you're right. But as a black man that lived in many different places, I can read between the line. Osborne, Mrs. Osborne is a racist. Her and her husband.
So maybe, so why can't she be? This is my question. Why can't she be just another white person who is absolutely sick of people saying that you are racist if you challenge anything that a black person says or does, whether they may or may not be right?
Now I'm with you on that one.
So I think that you guys you mistook me several
Wait a
times.
minute, Dr. Jefferson. I got a question. When you say you guys, are you talking about black people or Americans? It sound like you waving that Finnish flag right now.
The people in the comments.
Yo, you sounding crazy right
Are you talking
now.
about me and Rush? Or are you talking about Americans?
Okay, then no, I'm talking about in the comments. So you guys are you're making an argument about racism, okay, in general. My argument is about whether or not Mr. Morgan is racist for asking whether or not Meghan Markle is telling the truth. So if a black woman
No, he's not racist.
If a black woman is saying, wait, that she feels like Sharon is racist for supporting him, Cheryl Underwood is making that, she's making that argument that these two people are racist. Clearly, she's making that argument. So I'm trying to find out, where is the racism?
And here's the kicker. Cheryl then turned around and said, I'm talking to you, someone that I
Yes,
consider my friend. So
yes.
if you've been my friend, you should know good and darn well that I'm not racist. So how would you say I'm racist for defending him and you're my friend?
No, that's not what she was saying. What she was saying is, because I think I'm having a conversation with my friend, I feel like you shouldn't be defending him. So Sharon was the person. Sharon Osbourne is the white woman in the film, and she's not even white; she's British.
I
But
know she is.
she's that's her, okay. And then Cheryl is trying to, maneuver her situation and manipulate the situation to get her to come around and say, okay, well, yeah, I can see how that could be seen as racist. All he did is question whether or not Meghan Markle was telling the truth or not. So you're telling me that people cannot walk around in this country now and question the validity of an argument of a black person unless they are black?
Well,
Like,
no, not a black person, black women. The black men aren't having these issues. It's black women calling everything racist.
these black men right here in this chat. You guys in the chat, some black man speak up and tell me that you guys do not believe that this is racist. Because I see a lot of people saying, nope, that is racist. It is racist. It is racist. I'm trying to find out where it is.
In that clip, no, we don't see racism, man. But I can read between the lines
This woman
with
is
Sharon
about to
Osbourne
lose
and
her
her
job.
husband. I
Not
can read
that
between
you
the
can't.
I can read between the lines
I can't
that
read
yo,
between the lines. I need to know for sure if a person is racist or not. So I'm not reading in between
Exactly.
the lines because I might read in between the lines wrong.
Right. But the biggest thing, what you guys got to understand is racism is a perceptual thing. Because guess
no,
what?
it's not. Yo, you just slapped you just slapped the 90% of the blacks in the world by you saying something like that. They will
No, I'm
totally
just being
disagree with
honest.
you're saying.
So I'm
They'll
just being
totally
honest.
disagree with what
So
you're saying right now.
my first experience with racism was when I came to America and I got off of an international flight and I was called a pretty little nigger girl. You have beautiful hair. You are such a pretty little nigger girl.
What state
Was
was
that
that in?
racist? Was that racist or no?
What state was that in?
Was it racist or not?
Yes, it was racist, but it also was
No,
1948, ma'am.
Yeah,
no.
but yo, people don't even talk like that no more.
Times were different
Oh,
back then.
Dang, Doc,
oh wow.
you just shook.
Really?
You know,
Dang,
I had to go and get one
Okay.
in. See, she won't
All
tell me
right.
how old you
Turn your
are. I'm
turn your
just
camera on. Turn your camera on.
you tell, ma'am. I
No,
am sitting around in my boxes. You don't want me to cut my camera on
don't
right
nobody
now.
want to see you in your drawers with the taco meat.
Well,
Okay.
that's why the camera's off as well.
So
I
it seems
told
like
you you
you
don't want to
girl
see
got a
that.
lot to say. Oh,
so what I'm saying is racism is perceptual. So a couple of things in that moment, right? All I did was turn around and I smiled and I said, "Oh, thank you." Well, for one, I had a limited language understanding anyway. I couldn't speak a lot of words, but I knew that when people make a compliment, you say thank you. And I had no idea what a pretty little nigger girl. And I know he just kept touching my hair and saying, "Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at it. It's to her butt." Blah, blah, blah. So when I made my way to my grandfather and I was talking about it, he was, "Where is he? Where is he?" Go beat that some ass. Everything that you could think of was what were the words and the sentiments of my grandfather. Why? Because my grandfather's perception was that, oh, this white person has made this racist comment to my granddaughter. Okay? And my grandfather was racist. He was racist and was okay with him being racist. But he was not okay with somebody being racist towards his granddaughter. He explained to me what racism is then in that moment, and it still didn't make, to me, it didn't make or break me. At the end of the day, if you are continuously, and that's why Morgan Freeman says what he says, if you're continuously having conversations and you're continuously teaching your children that everything is racism and you're not drawing clear lines of delineation, even in your explanations, what happens is you see an abundance of people who see everything that happens in a Black person's experience where that Black person is discredited or rejected as racism. So the problem with that, I don't think you guys see the overarching issue with that. I don't care how you feel, and you guys can feel however you want to feel, perceive whatever experiences you want to experience as negative or positive. But the reality is, if you condition Black people like this, and you continue to condition young Black people like this, the entitlement mindset increases fourfold, fivefold, sixfold. Why do you think so many young Black people feel like they have authority over police officers? At some
that's a different situation.
no.
Those kids are raised from a single motherhood, and they have a problem with authority because they never had a father figure in their life.
Look, obviously you didn't watch my show the other day where my group member's child was murdered by the police. Per her, the father and the mother were both in the home, and they were both on the news. They were both shedding tears. But were they there when she at 1 a.m. drugged these police officers down the road, ran over this police officer in the car, didn't have on nothing but a tank top in the car, mind you? Help me understand. Make it make sense for me. Run it.
I don't know, but I don't.
But they have a Black civil rights attorney representing them because everything that happens to a Black person is about racism.
I agree with Morgan Freeman's statements 25% because I believe in the power of words and words casting a spell. But I also know that you can't forget history because if you forget it, you'll repeat it. So,
yeah,
so I told my kids about it, but I didn't tell them to be fearful of it, and I didn't tell them it. I was honest and said you may or you may not experience it. If you'll know when it happens. If you gotta ask, was it racism? It probably wasn't. You'll know.
Exactly. So it's not about deconditioning or deconstructing history. It's about giving them all of their history instead of limited purviews based off of only the negative rhetoric. So that's the only problem with removing statues. The only problem that I have with people having conversation about segregation, integration, and all of that, because what happens is young Black people, young Black parents do not know how to continue the historical line with accurate information instead of giving them only a part of the story. Give a full depiction of what it means to be a Black American, because let me tell you something, your children are not stupid. So at the end of the day, your children are going to be looking like, damn, is it racism holding me back, or is it a lack of accountability? Because my friend that I went to school with just became a doctor, and here I am still sitting my sorry ass in the hood trying to sell these 3 rocks, and I'm still where we started.
Dr. Jefferson, someone in the chat asked a really great question, and I think you should answer that.
I don't know which one. I got too many comments.
It is the last one with the last one with the guy with the wrench.
Okay.
There you go, producer.
He not here. I can't get this computer to work. I'm not good with technology. Who is Jason Whitlock? I don't even know who that is.
He's a conservative journalist / TV personality.
So hold on. If I don't see the whole picture, Jermaine G, that's what you're here for. Show me, paint the whole picture for me. I'm sorry for not going through you guys' comments. I'm gonna go through and see if you gave me the whole picture before, but go ahead and start typing now. That way, if I missed it, you know what I mean. It's still there.
You can hit the link and give her the whole picture, Jermaine.
Right.
She dropped the link. I don't know if it's still in there or not, but
so okay,
no, it's gone.
This, but sometimes it's used for some situations that are not racist. Basically, the card is overplayed sometimes. My point exactly. So and I don't think that you guys are understanding that. So it's not that racism isn't a thing. The problem is the racism card gets played so much, and the entitlement mindset becomes so large that when your children are in the presence of police officers, because you've okayed them getting unruly in front of police officers.
That is
When
not a
your
race issue.
children,
That's a single mother side
I
effect
just told you
issue.
that this 19-year-old girl that was killed in, what is that? Dalton, Illinois, the other day on the 27th at 1 a.m. when she ran over these police officers, drug another one in her car, ran into somebody's business establishment where they also live upstairs and fucked up all of their property. All
If
of
she
these
died,
people
she
had a
deserved it.
father and a mother, and both of them were on the TV a couple of days ago. The mom is in my group, literally, and she's still posting justice for my daughter, Alexis.
Nah, your daughter
No,
got what she
no, no,
deserved.
no. And then now they got to go fund me. It's too many levels to this. Okay. The problem is you guys don't see the problem because you want to overlook the issue. What I find to be very interesting is that it's mostly women that are really having the issue with coming to grips with this. It's not even men. I mean, I'm having this discussion with you guys and you act like you don't really know. But but I'm gonna tell you something about the young man that was in the car with that young lady. When the police said get your ass out the car, he got out the car.
That's because we know they don't play with men.
No, they
They
don't
let y'all get away with murder.
done. She shot the damn police officers, killed
They
one,
let women get,
walking down the street. Like, come on now, ran over
but they let, but
Stop.
they let women get away with a lot more shit than they do men.
It would have been the same
Yes,
energy.
actually, yes, they
No,
do.
fuck that. They don't let men go back in their cars and search around and shit and
No,
grab cigarettes.
they didn't get the report for the man. That's what I'm telling you. The report was for her. She was at the drive-through cursing out the people that work at the place for not being open at 1 a.m. when they're supposed to close at 4 a.m. And she had a gun. The report was made on her, not on the male. The male is obviously seeing that you are you've lost your shit. He's not crazy.
He
So if
also
I've
knew
not done anything,
that
and I know you got a gun, and I know that you are just acting crazy, unruly, you don't want to comply with these police officers. I know that if I have a parent at home that's looking forward to me returning home at 19, I'm gonna get my ass out the car. Why? Because I know I've done nothing wrong but smoke some weed, maybe. If they find
and
some
I
weed,
also know
possession charge.
that yeah, that's true too. He knew he didn't do anything wrong, but he also knew as a black man, I didn't seen too many of us get shot for not complying. So let me comply. Women get away with a lot of shit. The numbers, the list goes on of
Yeah,
males who have been killed by
Miss
police
Sandy,
compared to women.
hold on,
yeah,
let me address this.
that's
Miss
true.
Sandy, your black, if you have any black American, Afro American ancestors, they've already gotten their reparations. I don't know.
They got Liberia.
Have they have already uncovered so much for you guys in this massacre up there in Tulsa, including documentation.
She
So
probably deserved it, Candy Girl.
if you don't know that your people have already gotten their reparations, then you're far behind. Like, I think I just put too much advocacy into fighting for this stuff to be unveiled, for so many black people to be on this channel and you guys to be so unaware. That's what's interesting to me.
Al Show, I agreed with you up until you said numerous Caucasian people attacking African Americans in stores. It is not numerous. It's a few isolated idiots.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Trey, which is a shocker. Damn.
Whatever. So, Al Show, look, let me tell you something. I noticed that you've been kind of doing this quite a bit, but just because you're a white person doesn't mean that you have to try and pander to black people, because some black people
Why
will
not?
actually go ahead and say and
Why
call us
not?
anything.
Come on.
And if that
Why
thing's not a
not?
thing, we're not going to go along with that just because it looks like you're agreeing with us. So the larger issue is more white people in these conversations.
Yo, he's kind of right, man. You do a lot of deflecting.
Who's deflecting? What for what? What am I deflecting on? Cocaine.
That's what cocaine says. Not me.
Kinda,
Cocaine
listen, ma'am.
She said, run that smoke, nigga. Hit the link.
I'm trying, right. Hit the link if you got something to say because I'm trying to run through these comments. And I think everybody who watches this channel knows that I don't do this. I have a producer for this, but I can't get my computer password up.
Well, you gotta learn, ma'am. You gotta learn.
Cállate.
Oh,
So says world I'm living in is 100% fact that women get away softer. Okay, so help me understand the softer treatment. Well, Alexis is dead, so God bless the dead. Okay, but how is that softer treatment? She just as dead as any other black person. That's a man that resisted arrest and
Listen,
hit
listen,
police
listen,
officers,
listen,
shot at
listen,
police
listen.
officers.
she got the leeway to be able to drive off anyway. Had there been a man, she wouldn't have drove off.
They
They'd
were
have
they
shot
were
the car.
shooting
It was
him.
Yeah,
full of
yeah.
holes.
They
She got
shot the
shot.
car.
It
That's
was
how she got
shot.
shot. They
It
shot the
was
car.
shot.
She was Yeah, they shot the car. She got shot while them shoot. The one I think it was the one that she hit with the car.
Probably because they gave her leeway like the asshole in Nashville. He
No,
let
they
that
tried to
woman.
pull her out of the car. They tried to pull her out of the car because they didn't want to have to arrest her. They wanted to address the issues that were brought up by the people on the inside. Tried to pull her out the car, and that's when she was like protecting her keys when he was trying to get the keys because that officer was unprotected. He didn't have his gun out. You know what I mean? And because he thinking she gonna comply because the guy done got out of the car, so obviously you fooled him. He thought that he had a good day at work, and look at him, still laid up, critical condition. Poor.
Hell, he couldn't have thought she was gonna comply if he was trying to pull out the car.
No, he was trying to get the keys first. So it started with him trying to get her keys. And then when she started to put the car in drive, it was him trying to pull her out of the car because he couldn't reach.
See,
I guess he couldn't reach for his gun, but the other officer
black man would have got tased as soon as he said, "Give me your keys,"
ain't
and
no
she didn't
taser.
comply.
Ain't no taser even working. Like, what we talking?
But I'm just saying that's what would have happened. The black man said, "No, I ain't giving you the keys." Taser. Taser didn't work. You know what they going to next.
I don't know. Cocaine, you ain't hit no thing, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's how they typically, you know, deal with folks.
I'm trying to tell you. You look at all these videos, they get to call police officers bitches and everything. Men
Uh-oh.
don't. Men gonna get
Uh-oh.
slammed on their head.
Wait, look at the comment. Jermaine said we need 500 years of reparations. So I don't know. My ancestors said that they were good with what they got, and they made well with what they had.
Right, Jermaine? You
So
saying
maybe your
nigga, you
ancestors.
don't know no like Jermaine, none of the slave descendants are around, so you just
Yeah.
want some free money now.
I mean,
Do
because
you even know if you are a descendant of slaves?
the last one of my slave descendants has just passed away. We buried her in May. So, but they got their money. I'm sorry, she was in her hundred, but you know it is what it is. Uh, by a young lady who shot her sleep, Sandra Bland Black. Yeah, it's a lot of things. I think so. What happens is, like I was saying earlier, if we continue to move around and okay these small things that don't really solidify the claims as racism, the mindsets of our young black people becomes confused, but it also becomes inflated because they start to feel a sense of grandeur. And as a result of that, their interactions with other people of other races becomes very dangerous for their physical health and well-being. So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest this because I feel like what happens is when a bunch of black people get in the same space and you guys are filled with folks that don't want to take accountability, you know what I'm saying? You end up going through situations very much like this one. And even though I hate to say it, like I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to call
Uh-oh.
the thing a thing. The young lady whose daughter Alexis ended up dead, she's been on these accountability conversations. She's also one of the ones that deflects. She's also one of the ones that feels like black people don't need any accountability. But she's also a mother who now has a child that's a hashtag. If it don't get realer than that for you guys, let it sink in. Because the reality is, if you don't care about your young people, what I can guarantee you is that them getting a civil rights attorney to add on to the fuel and get on TV and make it look like it's going to be something that it's not, I can guarantee you there will be justice in this case, but it'll be for these officers' families. It'll be for that business owner's business that her daughter ran right into. Who did you not see on the recording? The young man that was in the car with her. So if this young man that was in the car with this young lady, and no black people are talking about this, y'all want to talk about everything but what matters. You got a young black woman in a minivan driving, irate, with a gun, just over a restaurant not being open because they closed early. She has no drawers on, no bottoms on whatsoever. Like,
Hey,
God, I just don't. What really grinds my gears is it's not even the fact that it's lack of intelligence. It's just lack of awareness. You guys will look at a thing and look right around it, literally, because you feel like it gives you the right to call racism out and get something from it. Like many of you are talking about reparations being owed to you. The first thing that you would need to do is get some type of sense of what it is that you would do with your finances. What would you do with those, 40 acres and the mule? How are you going to cultivate the land? How
sell
are
it.
you going to prevent it from becoming indentured land? What's your money looking like right now?
I'm selling my land. I'm keeping a little bit of it for a house, and the rest of it is getting sold.
So I'm just saying, like, I asked these questions. How are you going to sell it? How are you going to survey the land? What if some of the land is over in a marsh?
What is the land? What if the land is in a marsh? Well,
Some
shit,
of
you just
it.
got you
Some of
40
it. You
acres.
got 40 acres. So
You
you
can
got
always somebody will develop that marshland.
I can't.
Well, that's money
I
that's owed to
can't.
the FBA. That's
So hold
owed
on.
to the FBA.
To be frank,
They
you don't
deserve it.
seem to have a grasp on how
It's a,
racism
it's a debt that
impacts a
needs to be
lot of
paid.
people and their lived experiences.
It's a debt that
So
needs to be paid to the FBA.
hold on, Rush. Al, go ahead, hit the link and put your cam on, and then
I
let's
ain't gonna do nothing.
Pull up,
Al ain't
pull
gonna
up,
come up. You can
pull up
tell
to
who are
the
keyboard warriors and who aren't.
what. Because here's the thing: if you're going to debate me and you're going to tell me that I don't know what racism looks like. So the thing about seeing people and having interactions with people on YouTube is that you don't know anything about those people nor their history or their lineage. My history, I don't know about yours, but my history and my lineage is in your history books. So you read about my ancestors. This is what is forced upon your kids to learn about. So it's interesting to me how you have a lot of things to say, but the conversation that you're having is not with the person that you think you're having it with. So how about we do this? Racism is a perceived experience of people who associate the aggressions or the microaggression against them by another person as being tied to the color of their skin and their classification system of race within said country. Period, point blank. So it could be several people lined up to say that because I called a black woman a liar, because I called a black man a liar, I'm a racist. And I would give three fucks less. I'd say take it to court. Let's see what they say.
I think you're being a bit irrational
No,
with
I'm not.
this example. Yeah, you are. A liar is a liar. A liar, like
That's what I'm
if a
saying.
white person, if a white person called me a liar and I was lying, I'm not gonna look at the situation that, oh, he's a racist. Like, yo, he just called me out
But
that I'm a
that's
liar. You
but
know what I mean?
literally the Al show here is saying that obviously that's what exists in this clip, and that's what we're watching this clip. The clip is about Meghan Markle being called a liar. She was called a liar, so that makes Norman a racist. Come on, y'all got to make this make sense to me. I'm sorry.
I told you
Yeah,
from within that clip, I don't see any
yeah.
racism.
There is no
Yeah,
racism.
but
Cheryl Underwood just wanted to stir the shit.
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
TV
And
show
for
for
you to
race.
come right back off of it, the same thing happened when I had, other clinicians and stuff on here. We did the accountability corner about the clinical component. It was a clinician who was a black clinician calling a white clinician racist because she was doing Medicaid fraud and got caught. So if somebody is asking you in an email, hey, did you make a mistake and bill the time that I billed for this client? Because I know I was with them during this time. What in that statement is racist? So when I say that, it's now a culture, it's a whole thing, because I could
Doc,
probably
majority of us
screenshot.
don't think like
Wait, so I could
majority of us
probably
don't think like
screenshot
that,
at
Doc.
least
Come on.
1,000 posts that go across my Facebook news feeds every day, each and every individual day, about black people who think that microaggressions that are not microaggressions are racism. The problem is not that you guys are not privy to having racist encounters. The fact is, you don't understand what racism actually is. Just because a person doesn't like you, it doesn't have to be because of your race. It could be because of your class. It could be that you're
You're
walking
just a
around with
shitty
your
person.
pants hanging off of your ass. It could be that you got an attitude. It could be a lot of things. People don't like me. You don't see me walking around saying, damn, you a racist then. They're entitled to not like me. And even if they are racist, that's their damn business. It's not my business. So they can be as racist as they want. Actually, I want to write that down so I can make sure that I don't have any interactions with them that directly support or pay homage to them.
Ding.
So I just think
Point
that,
Dr. Jefferson.
you guys are just irrational when it comes to you. Everything is racist. You have to perceive it to be racist.
Nah, that we're gonna have a disagreement. When you say that racism is just off the person's perception in
So
life, which I totally disagree. There's many of black people who will look at you and say you bugging.
Yeah, if I'm called
Especially,
a nigger, that
especially,
ain't my
especially,
perception. That
especially the
person
ones
just
that live
told
in the
me what's
Dominican
up.
Republic.
so when I was called a
Especially the ones
nigger,
that live in the Dominican Republic.
when I was called a nigger, you know why it wasn't racism for me? Because I didn't know what the fuck racism was. More important,
Yeah.
even after I knew what racism was, I still couldn't identify. You know why? Because I wasn't directly an afflicted and oppressed person. Now, I had lots of family members who were. They were, iconic figures in your civil rights movement. They started these movements, as a matter of fact. But guess what? Just because my aunt was discriminated against, just because my grandfather was discriminated against, my cousin, my uncle was discriminated against, that's still not my lived experience. So that doesn't make me call everything racism, because their experiences were perceived as racist by them because they were literally raised in a culture where race became a huge proponent of where you could and you could not exist, where you could and you could not eat, where you could and you could not drink water, where you could and could not sit on public transit, where you could or could not sit in restaurants, could or could not go to the movie theater. So these right here, these things where they were discriminated and denied access to these things because of their race, that's why they're racist. That's why they're discriminatory. Now, when a black person tells me that the system is racist against me, my first question is, how did you get into said system in the first place? If the system is against you, the police are against you, and all of this stuff, how did you get there in the first place? When racism was a huge proponent that literally signified the existence of America, there were no black doctors. Do you know why? Because literally the system was against them. So if you have black doctors right now, show me how the system is racist, how the discriminatory practice of the system are written to be racist. Because the reality is, where racism is systematic and it is a centralized focus and theme, not people, but the system, black people do not rise to the top. Black people
Nah,
cannot live in places they want to
that's not
live.
true.
Black people
That's not
cannot
true.
acquire
You're
success.
dismissing the fact as a dark
I'm not
skinned
dismissing anything.
individual that lives in America, we have a social disadvantage. I disagree
So,
with you
what
on
are
that.
your social disadvantages?
I'm a
Rana,
black man.
what are
I'm a
your
black
social
man.
disadvantages? Trey, what are your social disadvantages?
I
Run it.
don't have any.
What are some of the social disadvantages, Rush? Make your argument, because I'm here for it.
Well, if I go apply for a job against a white individual that's not even educated, most likely he will get picked for the job.
Has it happened to you? If it hadn't happened to you, you can't say
Right,
most likely.
But
right.
it has happened to me plenty of times. I don't
When?
cry about it. I just grind hard and
When?
look for better
So
opportunities.
why did you just give us a hypothetical situation
It's
instead
not a
of telling us
hypothetical
when you went
situation.
the
It's
way you
situations
answered
that
it?
went and I overcome it. You know what I mean?
The
I'm not gonna
but the
be
way
like you
you
guys dismiss the
the
fact that there is a social disadvantage.
I said I didn't have any, but the way you answered it kind of made it seem like it was a hypothetical instead of you saying, "Hey, I remember this one time I was at Nike and I know
Well,
the white boy didn't have
there's
no
no need to get
experience."
into the specifics. There's no need.
But the question is specific.
But she asked you, "What are your social
And
disadvantages?" So that was
I just answered your question.
But you
the
didn't.
way, but that's what I'm saying. The way you answered it, it sounded so hypothetical. That's why I had to stop you and
Well,
ask you, "Has this
well,
personally happened to you?"
that's your perception.
It is. That's why I stopped and clarified with you. That's why I said, "Yo, has this actually happened to you though?" And then you said yes.
Yes, it has happened
Okay,
to me plenty of
so
times.
people in the comments, cocaine. Go, come on and on the panel since you got so much to say. Come on up on the panel and share with me your lived experience of racism in the system, being against your black people. My
And
black
this is why
raised
we
black
can't get
people,
along
Russia's
because
black, our black.
because because successful individuals like you always dismiss the
Oh, I'm
social
not being
disadvantages that
dismissive.
we go through.
Literally looking for.
Rush.
I'm
Just
looking
because
for the
I'm,
just
intent,
because
and
you've
I'm
been blessed
looking
in
for
life,
the
not
existence.
everybody has been blessed like you to
No, I'm just
achieve
looking
those
for it.
things
I'm
you
looking for it
accomplish.
wherever. Listen,
You
listen.
know,
So wherever you're saying that you were discriminated against only based on your race, I want you to point it out to me.
there's no need because you're
and
just
then,
gonna say
but
it's not
Rush,
true.
you also Rush, but also with your story, you don't know if that person was more qualified than you or not because you
Exactly.
weren't privy to his resume or what he said during the interview.
All
Right.
right, all right.
No, you can't. You are right. You can assume that's what happened, but you honestly don't know.
And
See,
that's what I'm talking about. Perception
I'm
is
not
your
saying that you're lying,
listen,
but I'm
guys.
saying it's
We're not gonna
50
come to the
50,
table
bro.
with this. Well, there's gonna be friction with this, but
Who?
it is what it is. This is why a lot of us we can't get along because
well,
of
I don't have
people
a problem getting along with
of
anybody because guess
no
what?
no no
Your
no not
experience
like
is your truth. But I
let
want
me
you to
explain
share your truth
let me
with
explain
me.
real
That's what
quick.
I'm asking you,
This
and you
is
cannot
why
do
a
that
lot of
because it never
blacks
happened.
don't certain this is why certain blacks don't get along with other blacks because the ones that are successful that receive a lot of help to become successful dismiss the fact that there is a social disadvantage for blacks in America.
Interessante.
Not just
Okay, so come
not
on.
just
So
in
let's.
America, but in world. In the
Okay, so
world.
okay. So
I've
if that's your
experienced it,
argument,
my mother experienced it, my father experienced it, I have relatives that experienced this, so
where are
we're
they?
not all crazy. We're not all
But
crazy.
that could be a family thing, though, sir.
Exactly.
That could be because you're well. You said you have experienced some of it, but you haven't experienced the majority of the stuff that they've experienced. I'm assuming.
If you have not had those direct experiences, what you're
Well,
speaking
I
to me
mean,
about right now is by definition called a
obviously,
vicarious trauma.
obviously,
That means they
obviously,
shared their story with you, and as a result of them sharing
obviously,
their
I had
story
some
with
help
you,
in life.
it
I
disempowered you.
I can recognize I had some help in life. Due to having a family structure, a little bit of luck, and it mixed in. I have to
I
factor
love
in.
it. I love it when people say, I like it when people say, I needed luck.
I got to factor
I
in
had luck.
with the with the spirit of perseverance that I have to thrive in life. You know what I mean? I can recognize these things, but people like you and Trey, you guys totally dismiss those type
Yeah,
of things.
I'm not dismissing
And
anything.
this
I'm
is why a
speaking
lot
from
of us
my
will.
personal
This is why
experience.
a
I
lot of
ain't
us will never
speaking.
get along in life because of
I'm
this. You know
speaking
what I mean?
from my personal experience, and I'm just a
And I'm
nigga from
speaking
the
from my
hood, so
personal
I'm not.
experience too,
But
man.
no, but you when you say you guys, first of all, you called her privileged. You never said I was privileged, so that means you acknowledge I'm a hood nigga just like you. You can't knock me for not having the same experiences as you, sir. Just like Lil Wayne. He grew up in the fucking hood too, and he would tell you right now he don't think racism exists. He black.
That's because it's
I wonder why.
socioeconomic status.
But I'm
He's
in a
rich.
different
The nigga's rich.
socioeconomic class, and I'm
Where did
saying
you
I
come
haven't
from?
experienced it. I
Where,
ain't rich, nigga.
okay, so where did Lil Wayne come from?
Louisiana.
That nigga lying.
Yeah,
That nigga
actually,
bugging.
you ain't lying.
So
Just
it's
like
okay for you to
like
say Lil Wayne land, but we can't call your job interview question. We can't say that maybe you land because you
I
don't
mean,
know
yo,
if this nigga
you
was
can
more
question all you
qualified or
want.
not.
You can question all you want, but myself and a thousand other black people will say the same thing.
If y'all did not see the resume, you can't say that the person was less qualified than you. That's all I'm saying.
Turn your cam
You ain't
on.
seen this nigga application or his
Right,
resume.
exactly. But you want to position people in different spaces, in different places than where they
Listen,
actually
man,
are.
I don't know what world y'all living in, but yo,
I live in a world where I'm
I live
not
in
putting the white
I live
man
in a
on the
cold world.
Yeah,
pedestal. I feel like
I
I
live
got
in
the
a cold
same
world
chance as
that
him.
shit on black people. I live in a
I feel
cold
like
world
I
that
have
shit
the
on black
same
people.
chance
So I
as the
don't know what
white
world
boy.
y'all
I'm
live
not
in.
gonna put him on a pedestal.
I don't know where y'all from, but where I'm from, we get shitted on because we black.
who told you that?
Who told nigga life?
So
So
was it a black hiring manager or a white hiring manager?
that's what I'm saying. Like, make it make sense for me.
Because if it was a black
Listen,
hiring
listen.
manager, I
We're
guess
not
you're
gonna
gonna
keep
say he was
listening.
racist against his
I
own
already know
kind.
we're not gonna come to an agreement with this. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
This is why
no, I would
this is
like
the
to
main
know
reason
If
because
you
why
felt that way,
this
why
is
you
the
go to
main
the
reason
white
why
man and
blacks
apply
can't
for a
get
job
along.
in the first place?
You know what I mean? This is
I
why
would like to know
this is
for
the
some
main
reason.
reason why blacks can't get along because of this shit right here.
Why not?
This
So
shit y'all
whether or
talking
not,
is crazy.
listen. Accountability conversations are only about that. These conversations are about accountability because here's the thing, right? If we are to have a conversation and we are to say that we as a race of people, I need you guys to understand and listen to the language that I'm speaking instead of the words that are triggering you. If we as a race of people in America are disparate when it comes to poverty because people discriminated against us, that would mean none of the race of people that look like us, move like us, any of those components would be in positions to where they can actually be the president of the United States, vice president of the United States, on the Senate, sitting. You understand what I'm saying? So none of these positions would be privileged
They
to
had
us.
help, Doc. They didn't do it on their own.
So that's the
But
point.
that
Within
goes
that,
against you.
see
It
see
goes.
But Russ,
So
that's
Russ,
the
so they
difference
had help,
between
but
me
that
they're
goes
not
against your
and
rooted.
you
point,
two
Russ.
guys.
Russ,
That's the
that goes
difference.
against.
Let me say this
Now,
real
now,
quick.
fuck your
Let
hold
me
on,
say
hold up,
this real
hold up,
quick.
hold up, hold
Yo,
up.
let me
No,
say this.
no,
Let me say
no.
this real quick.
You
Let me
ain't
say
gonna
this
cut me
real
out. No, nigga, you ain't gonna cut me out.
nigga, yo,
That
Okay,
yo.
man.
no, that contradicts your point. You said if a white person is the same. So when two people run for Congress, there's a black person and a white one. You said the racism gonna kick in and the white person gonna win out 9 times out of 10. But there are black people that have gotten these seats in Congress, in Senate, in the House of Representatives.
They do it on their own, man. They got help. They can't do it on their own, man. What are you
Right. So
talking
how
about?
can they get
See, that's
help
the,
if they are
hold on,
us?
that's the difference between me and you guys. The position I'm in right now, I've received help. You know what I mean? I didn't
Okay.
do it on my own. I
So
can
that's what I'm
recognize that.
saying.
You
If
know what I'm saying?
we listen,
Me too,
we
and
as
it was
a
white
race
people
of
that helped.
people, but no, if we are a race of people who are discriminated against, then how can we get help to move into positions like that? Because we, as a race of people, seeing our color is a point of contention against the entire system. So, not the individuals. That's your argument. My argument is people are selectively discriminatory. People hold biases, not systems, but people. People also hold the power to
But that's
change
not the
the
majority, Doc. That's
that
not the
they
majority.
complain about.
You're saying all of us is like this, and we're not. You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying.
We
So
we
I
can
know.
discern
So
we can
I
discern
know
if
that we are
something
all not.
if something's calling you out because you lack of integrity or skills, or if it's an actual a racist issue. We A lot of us can discern from things like that. You know what I'm saying? You're
Well,
making it
I
seem like
guess
all of us.
I'm
You're
just
making it
not
seem like,
intelligent enough
listen,
to be
listen.
able
You're
to
making it
see
seem like
that
all of
calling
us
a black person a
just
liar
blindly
is
look at
racist.
things as a racist issue, and that's not true.
Well, I might just be fucking ignorant then. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe calling black people liars is racist. Fuck it. Maybe you're right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Asking black people to get off of their ass and do something with their life, maybe that's also racist. Asking black people to stop killing each other because the numbers of black people dying at the hands of black people is larger than the number of any other
But that's
population.
not the majority
That's
of black
racist.
people that do that. You're making it
So
seem that's the majority.
maybe you're not hearing my comment. Asking same said black people to stop killing one another because those numbers are only multiplying in ridiculous numbers in that community is also racist. I'm being racist against them people too, right? Make it make sense to me. Asking black people to educate their children properly if they feel like the school system is not educating their kids, that's also racist, right? Yes or no? Make it make sense for me.
I don't know where you're going with this, but
That's where I'm going. I want to know all of the racist things that we do. I do. Because I want to be accountable for my racist intentions toward the black community, trying to live and put black people on pedestals. My hard work, my money, my dedication, my time. I want to know how much of my racist rhetoric is making an impact.
Before you can fix anything, you need to recognize that there is racism issue in the world.
So recognizing that there is a racism, black people can travel anywhere now. So racism will be anywhere now. Because at the beginning of this conversation, I said black people for the racist part more than any other excuse as to why it is they're not accepted. So that would mean that racism can be anywhere because black people have the freedom to go anywhere they want in the world. So that's not the point. The point is everything is not racism. Black people have a point of contention to make when it comes to pulling out the race card whenever they got to be held accountable. It's racism.
That's not what I'm saying. You're making it seem like
that's literally what I'm saying.
Not true.
That's literally what I'm saying.
And racism is not just a perception; it's a real thing. You know.
So in order for a thing to be a thing, in order for a thing to be
and this is what we can never we as a people, as a nation, we will never overcome these adversities because of our differences. We can't even come to a conclusion with our differences.
Okay.
Of our life experiences in life.
So life experiences shape perceptions. Perceptions shape realities. Yes or no?
Listen, if you haven't experienced it, that's just you. Maybe you just take down
yes
to the point.
That's a yes or no question, sir.
Yes or no?
That's just you. But as a black man in America, I'm not gonna sit here and dismiss.
Can you answer the question and then go on your diatribe? Can you answer the question, then go on your diatribe?
Right. Tell me all the things you want to tell me. Curse me out, not that good stuff. Just tell me yes or no.
No, that's not what I'm here to do. I mean, obviously that you're not going to acknowledge that there is a racial.
You still ain't said yes or no, sir.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
So Jermaine G says, so you're saying black people are lazy. Oh my God. So are you not saying that black people
Yo,
are we not saying that black people are we saying that black people can't be lazy? Okay, wait. I know this is not
Jermaine, come on,
wait,
man.
wait a minute. Hold on,
And
hold on.
I don't want to say this, but you
We
know
no,
niggas is lazy,
yo,
oh
salute
my
to
Jermaine.
God.
Jermaine
Oh
for
my
keeping
God.
it real. He's
You know
keeping it
what?
real.
You know
Shout
what?
out to Jermaine.
Rush, how many lazy niggas you bump into at the counter store every day asking you for $1?
So now
Sir,
I think
I
I
do
have to
not bump
do.
into lazy black people.
I
Matter of
do
fact,
every
So
goddamn
wait,
day.
they're
so wait.
hardworking,
No.
hardworking
No.
citizens.
So now I think this is where Kevin Samuels is a very much needed entity in the world because
Oh, she's
obviously,
going there now.
obviously, no. I'm just saying.
Oh
How
my
many
goodness.
black people do Kevin Samuels say are making six figures? What percentage?
Oops. Oops.
Where's Miss Sandy? Where's what's the other one? Kadoji? No.
Oops.
Emoji. Yeah. Come on, Miss Sandy. Where you at? Come on,
And the
Kevin
bulk
Samuels.
and the bulk of those people that make that 100,000, they're
Come on.
athletes and entertainers.
No. Wait.
That's
Don't give
God
her
given talent.
answer. Come on, Miss Sandy. That's right. That's right. See, Miss Sandy, I think that the problem is you have not been here long enough. I've always said
Y'all,
that there was a need
y'all,
for Kevin Samuels. I always said that you shouldn't cancel Kevin Samuels. I always said if there is a Cynthia G, Tanya TKO, Nyla Speaks, there must be a Kevin Samuels. That's
Kevin Samuels, I mean Miss Andy, that was sarcasm, sir slash ma'am. But
so, but come on.
why don't you ever hit the link?
Give us the stats. Give us the stats, Miss Andy. What percentage of black people does Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, you guys is Godfather, what percentage of those black men, I'm going to be very specific, are in the six-figure range?
Rustin, you know it's only 10% of all men, but it's a slim percentage of black men in
Come
that
on.
10%.
Right, Candy
It's
Girl.
only slim because we're not the majority of the race in America.
Oh my God. In the last election, how many black people came out and voted?
Candy, that wasn't a comment to delete.
What?
Where are we going with this, Alex?
And Jermaine, if the doctor doesn't say all black people, I'm gonna need you not to assume she's saying all black people. That's one thing we get on women about when we make generalizations. The first thing they say is not all. We know not all. The only time we'll say not all when that's what we mean. Like
Obviously,
I'll say all women say
I identify
I'm
as a black
special,
and
I'm
brown
different,
woman.
I know my worth.
And obviously, I work hard as hell. Okay. I work 18 hours a day, most days. Not that's including my advocacy work, volunteerism in very disenfranchised populations in neighborhoods where they say that they are disenfranchised and broke, but they're driving Jags and BMWs and things like that. But they're also on government assistance and housing assistance, but somehow they can afford it because the conversations that I have with them and the information they
That's
give
that's
me
that's just
tell
a
me
bundle of
lots,
everything. Y'all get
tells
everything.
me
Y'all get the free
tells me
houses.
lots
Y'all,
about
y'all,
our population.
y'all get the
Okay.
free houses. Y'all get the food stamps. Y'all get all that good stuff. You're
I think it's already here. Yeah. But yeah, so run it. Cocaine says choosing the lesser evil isn't worth my vote. What do you mean? So you didn't vote at all? Is that what you're saying? Because guess what? I want you guys to go back and look at those numbers of black people that showed out to the that came out to vote in the polls. Since the argument is that black people are
yo.
the
Shout
least
out to the
amount
Al
in
Show.
America.
He's solid, Joe. Salute to him, man.
That's interesting. I'm
Shout
glad
out
that
to
you
you too,
guys are
Doc.
agreeing to
Shout out to
something.
you too, Doc.
Said he inferred that you think all black people are lazy. Sorry for deleting. Oh no, it's fine. I saw his comment before you deleted it. I didn't even know you deleted it because like I can't really tell on this end. However,
Yeah, that wasn't disrespectful.
it wasn't disrespectful, but it's fine that he said that. I'm just trying to figure out where it is that I said all black people were lazy. What I said is we act like black people are not lazy, and we act like black people don't have crime rates that we do have. We're dying in insurmountable numbers, but we're dying by us. Our abortion rate and our murder rates amongst ourselves is ridiculous. We bypass how many people they lynched during slavery, that they tired out doing them picking cotton and picking pecans and what else, picking, what is that, tobacco, all of these things. Like we have surpassed that number in just this year alone. I just want you guys to think about it. Like, I don't think you same black people that are so pro-black, that are so give me my reparations, I don't see any of you asking about these very disturbing numbers. None of us. None of us. And I literally spend 3 days a week in these same said neighborhoods, giving my time, my attention, educating these people's kids while they're in the clubs, in the strip clubs, on the corner, smoking weed, outside smoking weed. These
I'm
are
smoking
things
weed
that
right
I
now.
do, and
Stop
I'm
weed
doing it
bashing.
for free. Okay, because I really do care about what happens to our tomorrow. So I would really like to know how much of that advocacy you guys are putting in. That's out here making all these excuses. I want to know how many of these young children you have talked to with this attachment trauma, because their mothers are cracked out. Their fathers are not in the home, and when he does come in the home, he's only coming to the home to smash the mom, and they can hear it or see it, or they're in the bed with it. So I would
It's
love
probably
to
not the
know.
father. It's probably not the father. It's probably this guy that's banging her.
Listen. I'm just going off of what the kids tell me. So I don't know. It's their perception, not mine.
That's just a single mother issue type thing, man. You know what I mean?
So
Any
a
yo,
single mother.
if you look
So
at the stats,
yeah, you guys
stop,
always say
stop,
that, but
stop.
guess what? The stats of single
Yo,
mothers are
stop.
high because
Real
there
quick,
are
real
there
quick,
are men
real quick.
there are
Yo,
men
nah,
that had to put
real
their
quick.
penis inside of that single mother for her to become a single mother.
Listen.
So
The
the
stats,
accountability doesn't start with the woman.
show that any children that's raised in a single mother house is a high percentage that they become strippers,
That's
prostitutes,
fine.
drug dealers, or they get locked up. These are what the stats show. That's a single mother
Well,
issue. You know what I mean?
well, I don't
So
know.
therefore, the woman needs to have some type
I
of
just
some
sent three kids from a single mother
accountability.
household to college
They
on a
need
full
to have
ride
some type
scholarship
of
to
self
become doctors.
accountability.
So
Stop
I
sleeping
can't
with the
say that that's
Pookies
true.
and Ray Rays and start linking up with the guys that's actually making something with themselves. But you know what?
But
Evil
that's still
women
a black
seek out
man
wicked
issue.
men. You know what I mean?
That's
That's all
but
what
that's
it is.
still Pookie
You
and
heard?
Ray Rays are still black men. So that's still a black man accountability issue. So how many black men are willing to take up and take
The
accountability
Pookies
to
and
step
Ray
up?
Rays are
And
raised by
Russ, that is a
single
stereo.
mothers.
You do realize you just stereotype black men by referring to them as Pookie and Ray Rays.
Look, let him give his stereotypes, okay? These are his stereotypes. So we playing it by
Hold
his
on, wait a minute,
realization.
hold on. So we're gonna sit here and say this is not true. That black women are attracted to the Pookies and Ray Rays, not the educated lane.
No, I was
This is not
just
true.
pointing out that calling
This is
them
not
Pookies
true.
and Ray Rays is
Oh
a
wow.
diss against them. You're calling them Pookie and Ray Ray is not a good term. So you're saying that to disparage black people.
I'm not
No,
disparaging.
no,
What
no,
I'm
Trey.
saying is,
No,
hold on.
wait,
Well,
Rush.
let me explain.
Wait, no.
Let me explain why
Listen,
I use that
Rush,
for an
no, I
example.
got look, I'm gonna mute you
I
just
have,
for a
I
second.
have
Okay, so look, he's only speaking to his perception, and his perception is his experience and his reality. So let me go ahead. Now run it, Rush.
Yo, you are so funny. No, this is not my perception. These are things I've seen and and there's a community of guys that talks about this. You know what I mean? The black woman is attracted to the Pookie and Ray Ray because they like the extremists. They like the super thug. And the reason why they like the super thug is because they show some traits of alpha energy. this is why these women are attracted to the guy that's in and out of prison because he has that dominant that one dominant alpha attribute. You know what I mean? But the black woman is not attracted to the guy that's actually going to school, doing his thing, and making a nice living for himself. She either wants the super thug or the guy that's like a rapper or an athlete. You know what I mean? And this is what the red pill community speaks about.
Well, I'm not a part of the red pill community because
Of
I don't have
course not, because you're a woman. You're
right.
not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to um, understand or even have empathy for this community, for this
Oh,
type of community.
I have empathy for the black men that are a part of the red pill community because I have empathy for those people who are very lost.
Okay, okay.
But so this is interesting. I'm looking at you guys' chat because like hmm. So Miss Sandy, do you really think that men should not be held accountable for making women baby mamas? Trey, have you made many women baby mamas? Money boy Trey, don't be silent now. Don't be silent now. Have you? And what's going on with these two people that never voted? What are y'all doing? So I worked 2 jobs today. Money boy Trey, I don't hear you. She apologized for deleting your message, Jermaine. I saw it. I commented, but you still didn't say nothing. See? All is well that ends well. Miss Sandy, you still didn't give me my stats about black people being lazy. Whoever those black people are. Kevin Samuel's talking about. You guys
I,
got me dying laughing.
you're just something else, Doc.
So no, what's interesting to me is that so Al show I want to address this. What is this? Is this trolling in my comments or something tonight? Because you feel like black people are so lost because they're kind of going outside of the bounds of accountability. Cocaine, you are in America and you are anti-government. I don't understand.
I kind of feel where he's coming from, but you won't be able to understand where he's coming from because, you know, you're just you, Doc.
Hold my vote for someone that deserves it. That's voting for whoever wins, essentially. Jermaine, yeah, I apologize. Won't happen. You don't trust either side of what? There are more parties than just Democrat and Republicans. Like I think that it's so interesting that people feel like they have to choose a side. I vote for person, not party. I don't believe in partisanship. I think that
That's another problem in the black community. We feel like we gotta be
that's
one side or the other instead of actually listening to both sides and saying, well, I think this person will work for me better no matter which side they are.
yeah. I can't get with that. So it's not working. Look around. The government has failed. I don't think it's the government. I think it's the black community because I'm not telling y'all my age, but
Yeah, what year did you get to America, Dr. Jefferson?
going. I almost said a very very boy. But
See, why is that? I said, what year did you get here?
Nanya.
Not when you were born.
No,
I'm gonna find out.
You
73,
that old?
72.
I'm gonna find out, Dr. Jefferson.
Go kill yourself. Madness. But so let me talk about this, because here is the thing. I think that oftentimes black people have the mindset that
Can I address Miss
you don't
Andy
have
He
a
before you
voice.
go in?
hard on
Can
cocaine.
I address Miss Andy before you go in? Miss Andy, our vote doesn't count for the presidential election. You're absolutely right. But all the shit on the local level and the shit in between, your vote actually does count. So that's why you should vote. Because with that attitude, you're just letting white people constantly get the seats instead of taking your ass out there and voting in a black judge, a black DA, a black city councilman, a black mayor, a black House of Representatives, a black senator. These are things that actually count.
Weed money.
Sheriff,
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, you guys just be doing too much.
black sheriffs, you can vote in black people for a lot of shit, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know. I can't tell. But I know you won't hit that link. You do a lot of talking in the comment section. I don't trust people like you. Because you don't have to show your face. As you see, Rush and I aren't showing our faces. I don't mind showing my face, but you just type constantly.
Well, maybe you need to show your face.
They've seen I look like the nigga in the avatar. They didn't see my face before.
Yeah,
We
same
don't
here.
know who Miss Andy is though. But she always typing. We ain't even heard a voice.
I just can't with you
So Kim up, pull
guys.
up.
Man, pull up. It's easier to talk than type. Anyway,
But to be honest with you guys, let me tell you something. Your vote does matter, even in the bigger elections, because the presidential elections are based on
I disagree.
electoral votes.
I
And
disagree. I disagree. I
if
that
you
shit
disagree.
don't matter.
vote,
Yeah, it don't.
what
It
happens
don't.
is the overall party, or the overall amount of people who voted whatever way, your electoral college actually can vote towards the opposite end because you didn't show up and vote. So you are now a minority, which is what
That's why it don't matter. Because
happened
the
historically.
electoral college can do what the fuck they want to, no matter what the state votes. They
No,
can just
Yep.
no.
override it.
In some
Yep.
states, no. In some states, it's illegal for them to. They have to vote the exact same as the popular vote that came out and showed out and
Which,
voted.
as far as
So
Which states is it
municipal,
illegal
the,
in?
munis- the
it's
municipal
only
stuff,
it's
yeah,
only legal for them to vote the way that they want to in 3 states, and even then, people can take them to court. It's like, what is it, Virginia? Now,
You know I'm the lookup king. Give me a second.
yeah, look it up. And but see, even in those situations, they can be taken to court if they
you
vote
voted for
opposite of what
Biden?
the electoral
Why? Oh my
college.
goodness.
What you mean? You have to vote for Biden because they said if you didn't vote for Biden, you're not black.
Yo, Doc, please. Let's not do this right now.
They did. He said it. You don't remember that?
I'm aware of that, but I sure wouldn't vote for that motherfucker.
Is he black? He better not be black because Rush said that black people cannot rise above the obstacles because the systems are crooked.
That's not what I said. Are you crazy? I did not say that. Don't
What
put
did you
words in my mouth.
what did you say then? What did you say then, Rush?
I'm saying that
Hold me
yo,
accountable.
there are some issues that stems from racism, but it's not the end all be all. You can't get through it with some help.
What about the
That's what
system?
I'm saying.
Yeah, what
Huh?
is some help? You mean some help from the white government?
Nah, like having family structure, friends,
Oh,
family.
so
Don't
you mean the being accountable part that I've already been emphasizing.
what do you listen? Don't twist what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
the system is not perfect. No, it's not. Some of it stems from racism, but you're right. It's not an excuse to use that for an excuse to say you don't have shit. I agree on that. But what I'm saying is that you can't dismiss the fact that some of that shit stems from racism.
Okay, like show me the which some then.
No,
Tell
no, we
me
don't
The
need to
which
get into
some.
that because we're not going to come to an agreement. Go ahead.
the punishment so far that I've read about states going against who the people voted for was a damn fine.
Yeah,
They
it
got a
is.
fine,
Yeah, they are fine, but also they can
and
get jail time too.
well, yeah, in 2019 it happened when it said,
Yep.
well, 2016, faithless electors voted for Colin Powell instead of Hillary Clinton, violating a pledge
Hmm.
under state law to vote for the candidate. The state fined them for their defiance. That was it.
Oh no, that's when the whip is involved. So when the whip is involved, you get a signature saying that you're going to vote whatever way they're trying to get you to vote because it's typically extortion. I'm just going to say that because that's what it is. But so after you sign said pledge, you are supposed to vote in that direction, and sometimes they don't.
Okay. It says in Colorado, a Democratic elector also violated his pledge to vote for Clinton, the candidate chosen by the voters in that state. Colorado's Secretary of the State removed the elector from his post and replaced him with someone who proceeded to vote for Clinton. In this case, the appeals court ruled against the state, holding that it lacked constitutional authority to remove or replace faithless electors. So there's no punishment for going against the grain other than a
Well,
fine.
no, because he was still no, he was still removed. But the ruling just said that they didn't have, which they don't have the authority to remove him. You actually have to let the House and the Senate happen
So
to
that means
do
he got his
the same
spot
as he did the impeachment.
back.
No, he
He
didn't get
got his spot back. If
he
he
didn't get
was
the spot back.
removed and they didn't have the constitutional authority to
It,
remove him, he got his spot back.
no, no, because the election was already finalized by the time the trial was over. But so what happens is it's just like when you get something expunged from your criminal record. And just because it doesn't mean that you didn't do it, it means that you can file and say that you rehabilitated yourself and this is something that is preventing you from making strides in society because people are seeing this thing on your criminal record. So it's the same situation. If you can prove that they don't have the authority to make the removal happen, they may have the authority to impeach you, but they don't have the authority to remove you, which is why Trump was impeached, but he was never removed. Same thing with Clinton.
But why would the guy go to the Supreme Court if he wasn't trying to get his position back? Why would he appeal it?
Because you
Since he
don't want
got
that on your
kicked
record.
out and he said, you know what? I don't think y'all were right. Let me ask the Supreme Court.
Because you don't want it on your record when you get ready to run for political office, i.e., president. You will be incompetent. You can't run. No party is going to finance you.
Cindy, so what made Trump so bad? What made him a bad president?
Other than he's a narcissist, sexist, misogynistic pig. Oh,
That,
So
that you
you're
just said that's
anti-Trump.
every man, that's every male president and Kamala Harris.
that's not right. Actually, Obama was neither of those things.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not. Neither was Kennedy, even though he was a ladies' man. He still wasn't a nasty, misogynistic, you know.
See, y'all don't like Trump because Trump keeps shit real. That's why y'all don't like him.
Because what?
He keeps things in a authentic perspective. For example, you guys claim that there's a wage gap. There's no wage gap.
Xanax and Ativan are both not good for your brain chemistry or balance longitudinally. Anything over 6 months and you start to lose um, neuroplasticity. But yes, black men were incarcerated for more. Huh. I don't know. I don't know which black men those were. I didn't see that. Send me the link. He's something. He's a
Yo,
sociopath.
salute to Miss Sandra, yo. You got some cool chat, cool people in the chat,
He
huh?
gives federal money to historically, is that what you mean? Black colleges, white people. God. Okay, so the thing is, whatever you guys say.
It says the court did not address whether the required pledges were legally enforceable, which brings us to today. So there's still like if that's all you have, if that's all you can get is a fine, because the Supreme Court's established, well, you can't remove a person because they didn't go because they defected. You can't remove them. All you can do is give them a fine.
But it's only like four states where you can take them to court, because it's only like four states where they can make that option to vote however they want to. But even then you can still take them to court if they didn't vote the directionality of the popular vote of the people in those particular places where there's and let me say this, because this is another thing that allows some of those people that do get taken to court to get passed. If you are not filling out the census but you show up at the polls to vote, even if you do have legal ID and all that good stuff and you think that you're documented that way, what happens is they can say that you were an active voter and that there was some type of um excuse me, what do they say?
COVID cough.
Pinche puta. What is that thing they call it when you are pandering to people and trying to give them gifts to get them to do things? Coercion. Yes. They can say that you were coerced by people like what's her name? Oh, what's the lady that ran for governor here?
Okay, here we go.
Stacey Abrams. There was a lot of talk around her methods, how they were illegal. So some people like that, you know, are doing some things that are borderline illegal or unethical. But they're black people, so you can't call it out because then that's racism.
Here's the meat and potatoes. 32 states and the District of Columbia have laws that bind electors to vote according to their pledge. 19 of those states and the District of Columbia have no legal consequences for electors who defy the will of the voters. In 11 states, a non compliant vote is nullified, the office is presumed vacant, and a new elector is chosen. Colorado is not among this group, but interpreted its law in this way, and in four others, including two that also replace faithless electors violating the pledge, is punishable by prosecution or a fine. But before 2016, no elector had ever been subjected to a penalty or replacement. So they don't do shit if you defect.
Well, they do. They can prosecute you. You can go to jail. But
They haven't done it though. All they've done is given fines and they remove one person.
but that's the thing. It wasn't really a big thing. It didn't become a thing until after 2009, after Bush did his big push and all this extra stuff. Is when these possibilities started to come up that people were going to vote the way they wanted to vote. Um, but that's a whole
Dr.
other
Jefferson,
conversation.
if I'm on the electoral college and it's a political pack coming at me with 10 million to vote for the
Oh,
opposite party, I will take the fine because I'm gonna come into profit. That's the worst I got to worry about happening to me is a fine. I'll
mm,
take the money.
so no, it's never about money, even though a lot of people think it is. It's never about money. It's about larger things than that. Trust me. But
Some people are content being congressmen. They don't have higher ambitions. Some people
they're
are
not.
just
They're not.
lifelong
They
senators
don't.
and shit.
I mean, they don't do. They don't do. They're not congressmen. They don't work and do anything important. They just literally step in for that position and that position only. So
I know,
some
that's what I'm saying. So it
are
would be about money
benefit
if you ain't trying to run for nothing else.
Mm-mm. Because these people are vetted very, very seriously. So ethics is a point of contention for them. It's almost the same as they vet the VP candidates
They're
and
still
president.
humans, ma'am. Humans can be corrupted.
I know
We're
what
gonna we did that now. You acting like the people that say voter fraud don't happen. It happens. May
no,
not happen as often
don't happen.
as
What I'm
as
saying
it.
is, I just know the intricacies of JPass. That's our system. So I know that they're not getting past it. That's what I know. So,
Judges have been bought. senators have been
So
bought. You
that's
don't
what I'm
think
saying.
electoral college
Even
people have been bought?
even when judges are being bought, and even when senators are being bought, it's never about the money. You're not hearing what I am saying.
If it ain't about the money, they would do it for free.
The methodology has nothing to do with the money. The methodology has more to do with the bigger things that these people have to lose.
I'm gonna say it again. If it wasn't about the money, they would do it for free.
You can say what you want to say. I'm just telling you. As somebody
Why
that
are they taking money for it if it ain't about the money?
they've never taken any money for. You can't see any of that anywhere. It's not about the money.
Man, look up Tennessee waltz and look how many Tennessee just people in a public office got caught up in all types of embezzlement and fraud and
Yeah,
scams and taking
but
bribes. Just look up Tennessee
but
waltz.
their
This
votes,
shit happens on a
their
large scale.
yeah, but so their votes have nothing to do with money bribes. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, it does. The lobbyists come to them with money and kickbacks and stuff. That's literally how it works.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
about
yeah,
program
I got
success and it's
realization
about
people
other
are
things.
trying.
Okay, well, you know what? Spend a couple of days in on the hill and see what you hear in passing in the hallways. It's free for the public.
Damn, you gonna stop acting like you the only person that know people in politics and are connected.
Go on the hill when you feel like a bill is gonna go
I
forth.
don't have to go on a hill. I'm gonna tell you
Go
to look up Ricky
there,
Pete. Ricky Pete is in my family. I want you to look up
and
Ricky
there and
Pete.
listen in the
He's a
hall.
very well known public official in Tennessee's held public offices on the federal and the local level. Look him up. He's in my family. Look up his record.
So if you go and you listen to the things that people say, the wicked.
Ma'am, just look up Ricky Pete and he will debunk everything that you're saying about going on the hill and
So,
public
so you
officials
talking
not being.
about one? You talking about one person that doesn't? Most of the people that are in
I gave you one family member because you said go on the hill, and I was just pointing out you're not the only one that is into politics or knows these
very
things. And I also told you to look up a case called Tennessee Waltz, and you'll find at least 20 public officials that was convicted for bribery and all types of things.
no, I
And
didn't say
Tennessee is
that
not the only place
bribery.
this
Wait,
happens at.
so I didn't say bribery wasn't a thing. I said the point of contention is not finances. I said it's other things they use because money isn't. So policies, they have other issues like airing out people's business that they don't want to be aired out about who they have in their bed. There are a lot of things. They're still bribes. It's just not about money because people can get money a lot of different ways at that level of success. So we can make money.
Blackmail and extortion are different from bribes. Bribes mean you're taking money and gifts
I
or
can't believe I'm
kickbacks
saying
or
this, but
perks.
I
Okay,
agree with
so
what
it's
you
not a
just said.
kickback. So it's not a kickback if my policy that obviously got shut down every single time I took it up for a vote. If you tell me that you're going to make sure it gets passed for another measure, that's not a bribe. All I have to do is vote yes on this bill. That's not a bribe.
And you get what for voting yes on the bill?
I get a policy that has been shot down several times. For example, a really good example, the George Floyd policies that was shot down once before it got passed the second time around.
Who got something for what I'm saying? You're saying is if it's a bribe, what was offered to vote yes?
I'm saying it got shot down the first time tremendously. It got passed the second time with no effort.
Maybe it got passed the second time because people's palms got greased.
In a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I think Doc is trolling us, yo.
I'm not
First she
trolling.
said racism don't exist, and now this. Oh man.
No, I said racism isn't always the point of contention. That's not always the problem. It's other things as well. So black people are not positioned in certain places sometimes because they don't qualify. I don't even believe in affirmative action. You know why? because you have black people that are forced into schools because of the color of their skin, but their education level and their intellect level is low and they can't thrive in those said schools, but they're just pushed forward so that they can pass. So those people meet affirmative action numbers. And when they get into the field, they feel so much pressure because they have absolutely no idea what it is that they're doing. And they end up in therapy because they feel isolated and they feel because everybody else is a brainiac that loves doing what they're doing. But they're the exception because they went to school and nobody ever paid attention to the fact that they never got a single concept.
I don't believe in
Past
affirmative
high
action because it benefits women more than it does men. That's why I don't believe in it.
school. Well, it has nothing to do with that for
And
me. It
that's
has
a
to
fact.
do with the
That's
fact
a
that
fact.
sometimes
Not,
you take people and you put them in places just because they're black. To me, that's the exact same as racism.
but it benefits black women and white women more than it does black men.
Well, they're black, so it
That's a
doesn't
fact.
matter.
Because right now,
It's not helping us. I don't give a damn
and,
about
and,
them
I,
being
and
black.
I'm
It ain't
coming out of
helping no
pocket.
black men.
I'm coming out of pocket. I could barely get the scholarships that they have for the women. But when you look at when the women have a plethora of financial aid to get certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like as a man, like we are limited to get some of those scholarships. The women get
Interesting.
everything. Yep,
Interesting.
yep. And
Well,
and I'm a prime example of it. I'm the embodiment, I'm the living example of it.
I'm not woe is me, and I'm just saying I fuck affirmative action. It don't help men.
well, I don't think that that's true. I think in several cases it does. It does help.
Look at the stats. It helps men, but look at the stats. It helps black women and white women way more than it does black men.
Have you ever thought that maybe that's because black men are
I
not a
don't care why it doesn't. It just ain't working for black men. So
so
fuck
nobody can
affirmative
make
action.
anything happen to
Hold on. I
black
gotta hear
men
what
just
she's about to
apply.
say. What you about to say? That what? What?
said, I said, you
Black
don't
man?
think it's
What?
because black men are not applying themselves. If you don't
That's
apply,
not
nobody can
that's
help you.
absolutely false.
Well, you just
That,
told me that the system is set up against you. You just told me that
It's false that you're
basically
saying that black
you
men
can't
are
go
not
out
applying
here and
themselves.
thrive because you're black in this system that oppresses
You
black
you you
people.
you you're you're saying that black men are not applying themselves, and that's not true.
I'm asking the question, do you think it's because black men are not applying themselves? It was a question, not a
No,
statement.
no.
Oh, well, what do
Money
you
boy
think
just
about?
Money boy just explained to you
How
on
many
what
denied
affirmative action
applications
does,
can Money Boy
and it
Trey
only
go and get it?
helps black
Okay,
and
so Money
white
Boy Trey,
women.
go get the
That's
denied
it.
applications.
That's it.
Go get the denied applications for these affirmative action programs from black men then.
Ma'am, now you're being facetious. All we can go is the numbers that they're putting out. We can't look
Yeah,
at the denied applications, but
Okay, well
the
go
one
ahead and
the,
get
the
it pulled up.
numbers bear out.
Pull it
The
up.
man, you're
numbers
saying
bear out that it helps more women than it helps men.
Okay, how many men are applying that are black?
How many women are applying? You ain't asking that question either. Again, we don't know. The stats just show it helps
How many?
men more.
Okay, so look,
It doesn't
how
help
many men?
men.
How many men are applying that are black?
How many? I mean, I could go with welfare too. I say fuck welfare because it ain't helping as many black men as it does women. Are you gonna say how many black
I
men apply for
it only
welfare
helps
I
too?
women.
disagree. Every black man that I've ever known
Look at
that
Hamilton
applies for
for
Medicare,
welfare
food
for
stamps,
who
and
last year.
Medicaid, they got approved.
Doc, you capping.
No, I'm
Food
not.
food
If it
stamp.
wasn't for HIPAA, I'd post the names. But I've seen lots of adult black men on Medicaid and food stamps.
You know you capping, right?
No, I'm not.
You
Okay, that is the basic. That's the basic level of welfare. What about the family first money in the house? What
That's
about the Section 8 house and the free rent?
I don't know. I don't
Are
know.
projects full of single women in free housing or men? Come on now, you ain't being real. That's why I said you capping.
In Atlanta, there is such a long waiting list for every person that I have referred to the program for housing assistance that I can't even gauge that.
All you gotta do is drive around. You'll see
Every
it's
year.
all with the niggas are staying with the women in
Well,
their
you
free
wouldn't
apartments.
know. No, you wouldn't know because here's the thing in
Well,
Atlanta.
I've lived there, so I know.
That's in Atlanta. It's not like that anymore. So
Man,
you can live
everywhere you go, women are the majority of the ones that have free housing. Any state in America.
if that's what you feel. What can I
It
say?
ain't what I feel. The numbers bear this out, and you can drive through the hood
Let
and
me look it
see.
up. Let me look it
You
up. Let me look it up.
Drive through it. And, okay, go to an Atlanta hood, a project in Atlanta, an apartment complex where you know they take Section 8 or the rent is free, and just do a poll. You can say, hey, I'm Dr.
So
Jefferson. I'm
people,
trying to see the ratio of women with free apartments to men.
housing. They get food stamps. They even get now they're getting stipends.
Money, daycare, housing. Men ain't getting housing like that.
men too. There are things. So
They
I
do,
live
but
in
it's
Atlanta.
like
I
1%.
live
Like I
in
see
Atlanta.
again,
So there are more single male parents half of the time than single female parents.
ma'am, and men will work a job. They don't get free housing. And I'm not saying all men don't, but when you say they do, we know it's a small percentage. So to say they do is almost like you saying not all.
Well, hold on. I'm looking
We
at.
gonna just say 1% of men get it just to say it happens.
No, I'm not even gonna say 1% of men get it. You can look at the.
Whatever percentage you get, it's not as high as the women. Women are leading that by a hand by a landslide. Men are nowhere close.
Not necessarily. The official urban therapist is a social worker. He said the same thing.
Trey, trolling right
The
now, dog.
official urban therapist is capping too. In these projects, it is women who have the goddamn free apartment, and it's they niggas coming through selling drugs and shit, fucking it up. It's not the men with the apartments over there.
Okay, so let's look. Affirmative action, including training programs, outreach efforts, and other positive steps for preference. Women make up 25% of student applications, so it's more males here. Let's look at affirmative action. There is time for a change. First introduced gender affirmative action policy was necessary to correct a significant gender imbalance to reflect the fact that women made up only 25% of student intake. 22 years down the line, the proportion of female students at the university now exceeds male students by 2%. Despite this fact, the university administration insists policies are still in operation. Well, right here, they say that the objective was to put women as a point of contention when it comes to affirmative action, simply because females were significantly depleted to males at the university. 22 years later, 2015, shows that women outperform males at a pass rate of 90.5, while the males were at a passing rate of 85.4, and the females to males were only 2% led more females over males.
That's why I said fuck it, because it was built for women and not for men. And even with men not getting affirmative action, we still managed to run shit. So
No,
fuck
this is
affirmative
with
action.
men
Kill
getting
it.
these. This is with men being there for affirmative action, where they had a total population of 48% of men on affirmative action and not enough women on affirmative action, and so they made a priority for women and started to admit them, and they didn't even balance out where more women were on the affirmative action plans
So
than men.
it still benefits.
2 years later,
So after you get through using all them words, it still
it
benefits
took
women more
22
than men.
years. It took 22 years for it to benefit women by 2%. Two. Two.
Doc,
More is more, ma'am.
the
Oh
stats
God.
show that it's ninety
And are you
percent of
looking
women
at the
that
year
have.
by year analysis? Are you looking at the year by year data?
Yeah, that was year by that was a 20-year longitudinal university study for black colleges. But I'm not an
And
advocate.
women always led it though, right?
No, men.
Because you read a part at the top and then you got silent and then you went
Right.
down and
So
found something that fit your argument. You
men
didn't read the whole paragraph.
Men led it. They had an under abundance of women, and so in order for them to have more women being admitted, they made a preference for women.
So
And
they
after they
cheated.
preference for women, 22 years later, finally women outpaced the men by
So they cheated for women.
affirmative action. Well, no, it's not cheating when you have a school that's supposed to be an HBCU and you got the vast majority of those people identifying as males there as
Bottom
you're
line
transitioning
is,
to
women
school.
are benefiting off these free scholarships than men.
Oh God, whatever.
So that means the women weren't applying.
Stranger Talk
Because it
said,
said underwhelming applicants. Women weren't applying for it. And
yeah,
then then they cheated to make it more attractive to women, to where they made it lopsided, and instead of it being equal, women are leading it. It benefits women more. But we still survive without
so
it.
do
Just
you
like we
think
survive without the welfare.
do you think they cheated when they let men start applying initially?
Yes, fuck affirmative action.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, Candy Girl. Like I don't know what they be thinking.
Top of that, these women they get $300 per child.
What women?
Veterans get trash.
What women? What women?
These women that get these extra $300 from the government.
What extra $300 from the government?
That I know a welfare recipient right now that's getting all these benefits. They
Hey,
Oh,
get
Candy Girl, you just go ignore all them homeless veterans out there. All right. Have fun with that one.
veterans
yeah,
are not a part of your general consensus of
it,
research for the most part. We have a separate entity that funds
Well,
our.
she typed it and you hallelujah her.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the fact that men are on government assistance.
I acknowledge that, but I said women do it by a landslide. They help women more, especially with the critical shit like housing. Men would rather get housing instead of fucking food stamps.
Well, it's interesting that you would say that. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to break any HIPAA violations. But, you know, I'm going to say this.
you
Lots of
Go
black
to the
capping,
hood.
you capping
lots of black men get
so
assistance. And I'm sorry, just because your guys are not one of
Lots is
them doesn't
still
mean
not as much as the women. You can say a lot, but a lot more women get it. Now
look,
we using words.
I can only speak
and then they
for
get
the
$300
vast
per child.
majority of these many numerous core agencies here in the
It's
Atlanta.
90-10. It's
Listen,
90 to 10.
Not,
90% women, 10.
men,
Okay.
not.
Okay.
America, if they
Okay.
don't work,
Only speak
Men out here cutting up
I
via
can
if they
welfare.
don't
I can
work,
only speak for here. So why do you think in
they
Atlanta?
don't get no assistance from the government.
So you
It's
guys
either you
had
as a
them.
man,
Look,
it's
listen.
Why
either
you
you
think
fit
there's
or you
welfare
Why do
queens and not welfare kings and generations of family of
So
women
that may
staying
be
in the projects,
that
not
may be
men?
true for a lot of different places, but let me tell you something. If so many women are outpacing men in education, especially in a place like Atlanta, in affluent
That's
cities,
not true.
where
They enrolled.
I'm only going based off of what you wonderful folks are saying and your godfather Kevin Samuels.
I
This is
don't
his
fuck with Kevin
research.
Samuels.
So at the end of the day, if women are outpacing men and going to get these PhDs to position themselves in these high capacity earning jobs, and
They
these
aren't.
women are earning more than their men, because that's a fact in the black community. Women are outpacing men, out earning men, out way more education
yeah,
than men.
but they got a shitload of
So
debt
That's
they gotta
that
pay
that
back.
ain't
how
that's
is
not
it?
So
true.
How is
so
it a vast majority of women
therefore they're
on
not really
government
doing
assistance
that.
if we don't qualify?
That's not them stats you just gave out ain't true. I'm gonna need you to screen share that.
How is
Sounds good. It
how is it not
sounds
true?
good. If y'all are making all that money,
How is
why
it
is
not true?
black women's net worth $5?
How is it not true?
If because y'all's net worth is $5.
Maybe black women have become smart, like the vast
Black
majority
women's net
of
worth is
multi-billionaires.
$5. How can you be so educated and out earning men if your net worth is $5?
I don't know, because you still got a large amount of black women who are at
So
home
that means
not
what you're
working their
saying
own.
is false. If
No, it doesn't.
black women in
If you
general's
have to,
overall net worth is $5 and men is tripling that,
why do you think that is though?
because the numbers that you just said are false. It's a feel good
No,
story to make women feel
no,
like
it's
they're
not.
accomplishing
It
shit.
means that there are still an overarching abundance of women who are stay-at-home housemaker, homemaker wives that don't work. And those women are a still a very much represented part of this society when we talk about the numbers. So if
Not when we talk about earning potential and outpacing men and stuff.
yes,
Well,
Housewives
and,
don't
we do.
fit
Yes, we
in
do.
there anywhere.
All women in the statistics that you're speaking about are applied to that calculation. So that means the women that are stay-at-home moms that are earning no income, they also are part of that set. So if
Okay.
you're adding all of those women who are not working, how many stay-at-home dads are there? Very few. Very few. So if you add those negative numbers of zero, no
Sound
financial.
like a lot of excuses, ma'am.
Oh, it's no excuses. This is just a part of the math. I'm making the math make sense for you. If you put those all those zeros into the equation, it's going to bring down the overall valuation. But the reality is women are still outpacing men. Women still have more education than men. Why do you think they talk about the fact that women will get married at 1 in 4? Why do you think they say that? Because if a woman feels like she has no need for a man, that means that a woman is able to independently provide for herself. So these are
5%
great
net
women.
worth, ma'am. You ain't gonna get away from that. They earning so much, their net worth is $5.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It's way more men that ain't shit and selling drugs than it is women that stand at home and all of that that's being counted in the numbers, and we still kicking ass when it comes to net worth compared to women.
I'm just saying. These are the
I'm
facts.
just saying. So if y'all's net worth is $5 and men's is clearing that 3 times, there's no way y'all are out earning us.
Obviously, that means that if a woman has any net worth at all and you're just 3 times above her, it literally means that women are out earning men. Because you got, if you have 50% of the, let's just say 50% of the
Oh
women
gosh.
are not a part of the working population where they're documenting income because their man is bringing home the income and taking care of the home, which he should be. And you also got to realize that most of these black women are now divesting from black men and marrying other men from other races. So these men are damn sure taking care of their homes because they're trying to make sure that they.
That ain't got nothing to do with black women's net worth,
I'm just
ma'am.
saying culture. So if we're
And
talking
if you
culture,
add in the 50% of the
we
black men
added
that
all
ain't
of
doing
those
shit
women
and in
that are
jail
not
and
working.
all of that, and the black men that's
Even the
divesting,
black women
everything
that
you
are
can
in
say, I can apply to the
no,
men, and
even the
our
black
net worth
men.
still gonna
What
be higher.
you can't apply that to black men because there are not black men who are stay-at-home fathers.
So there are none.
No,
It's
that's
some
not
black men.
applied to.
It's some black men. Hold up, no, I got you. Because earlier you said I know black men that got custody and they get welfare. So that means they are
Yeah, that
stay-at-home
doesn't mean
dads.
they're stay-at-home dad. No, it means that they still qualify for welfare. So welfare is considered to be anything that is 150% below the poverty guidelines. And let me make sure that you understand that that means that if you make $40,000, you qualify if you got a kid. I have a sliding scale. These are things that we have to know. These are your federal poverty guidelines. So you still qualify just, and you got to think about it, in Maryland, they even go up to 250%.
They would be stay-at-home dads, ma'am.
They're not
They're the
staying
sole
home
provider
days.
for the kid.
They're going to work. They might only be able to pay
You said they welfare
basic
kings. They getting the
yes,
free
because
apartment
they're
and shit
getting
like women.
yes,
That's what you
just because
said.
they're getting a free apartment doesn't mean they're not earning sufficient income
Well,
to make sure they have their basic needs
black
taken care of.
the women that I was talking about earlier
I
when I
also
said
said
it's a generational thing.
I
If
also
it
think
the
they're
gener
driving Jags and BMWs. How you think they affording that?
because they staying with their baby mama who got free rent. It's not because they got a
No,
free
I'm
apartment.
talking about single fathers. That means they don't have a baby mama. The baby mama's on child support. This is
They stay
Atlanta.
at home. They stay at home dads.
No, they're
They're
not.
stay at home dads.
Nope, they're working. They work every day. They got caps to make sure that they got child care.
Oh, the women don't work. They just rely on the welfare. The ones I was talking about, I say you can go to any project and see this. They're not going to work. They're just getting the benefits.
In the state of Georgia, they're required to work here, whether they're a woman or a man, or they don't
But
qualify.
you're required to work or
Yeah.
be enrolled in online classes, which is why a
Nope.
lot of black women have started getting in school because
Nope.
you have to go to school to
Whoa.
work.
This is Georgia. I sign these women up for these programs every day, and these
They
men
the same.
have
They're
to
the
do both.
Tennessee, Georgia. We got the same shit enacted. You got
You
to
have to
work
do both.
part time. You got to work part time, or you have to be enrolled in school.
If you're enrolled in school full time, you still have to work part time.
You do realize Thomas Sotomayor lives in Atlanta as well, and he speaks
I'm
about
just
this all the
saying, I
time.
don't care what he speaks about. These are the programs that I work with.
So you the only person that knows about this.
I don't know. Ask a couple other people from
Well,
D.
I'm telling you, I just gave you two people, me and somebody else, and you one of them lives in Atlanta, and you discounted it.
Which
And I
one of
know
you
for a
work for
fact that
DFAX? I have a county badge. How many of you have a badge? How many of you tapping into
what
DFAX?
does what
So
they got
we
to do
have
with
to
the
know the
subject at
program
hand?
guidelines. That's what I'm saying. The
They
subject
have to
and our
work for.
program
They
guidelines.
have to.
You have
Do
to be
you
working
work?
at least
So
15 to 20 hours a week. If
so
you are
you're a
in school
social
full
worker at defects. So you're a social worker at defects.
I am
You
a
do
therapist
cases.
who is
You
contracted
approve
with
cases and
DFAX.
stuff. You're a
In
caseworker.
order for me, no, I'm a therapist who is approved contractor with defects. So in order for me to get paid, I have to tap in. I got to go in there. When I go and I remove kids from the homes, obviously for child protective services, I still got to tap in. So
I ain't
I
talking about
have
child percent. We talking
so
about
in
welfare
these,
benefits. In
yeah,
order
and
for these
welfare
women to
benefits
keep
work.
their
The way
benefits,
that
they have to
defects work,
work a
they
part-time
have
job
to be working
or
at
they
least
have to be
15
enrolled in
hours
school.
if enrolled in school full time. Otherwise, they have to be working at least 30 hours a week.
I just said part-time or enrolled in school, and you
30
argued me
hours
about
is
that.
no, 30 hours is considered to be full time, 15 hours is part time. So they have to either
Either you have to
say that
work or you
again.
gotta be
You
in
do.
school. And
No,
most
you
people are
have to be
choosing
in
the
school. If
school.
no, if you are in school full time, you still have to work 15 hours a week. I keep saying the same thing over again. You
Well,
still
that would go.
have
Well, that would
to
be
be
part.
employed.
15 hours would be part time. So you still corrected me when
Right.
I'm right.
That's what I said.
It's part time
From
or
the
in
beginning.
school.
I no, it's part time and in school or full time employment, or you do not qualify. Either way, you still must be working. That is the requirement here in Georgia. I don't know about your state, but women and men equally are required to pay child support when your kids are even taken from defects. Women and men both have to pay child support. So either all of these things, these are our systems. I don't know how it works in your state, but what I'm saying here, it's a different ball game. So if you're going to qualify for the programs here, you have to still be working. It doesn't matter if you're 15 hours or 30 plus. You still got to work. Poverty looks like you're not making enough money in order for you to survive. You cannot survive in Atlanta making less than $50,000. That's exactly what Kevin Samuels is saying when he says once you have a kid, there is no way that you can live here on $50,000 and provide for a family. That's what he's saying. Because it's a fact. Cost of living is high. How are you going to pay that? What is that? The rent that is fucking $2,400. Help me figure it out. You really think that they don't have no credit, no job, and they're going to qualify for a home loan? So make it make sense to me. I'm listening. No lies told. Exactly, Candy Girl. I can't. I feel like I feel like these guys feel like people who are on the system are people who are not working. Women at home while their husbands are
No,
working,
I just
not on.
acknowledge that there are more people that abuse the system than the people that actually use it as a crutch.
Oh, okay. So how many
I
people?
acknowledge this based off seeing 3 and 4 generations of women in the same damn projects.
I'm pretty sure. But right here in this state, the guidelines are very different. So that's not to say that your state has inundated practices that are not welfare to work programs. Here in Georgia, we have welfare to work programs. Even when you guys were still getting the additional money from the government for unemployment and all that stuff as an incentive, our governor, we all met a whole little COVID task force, and the governor, we made a overall consensus for the governor to pull the program 7 months early. Because here we value people going to work, not welfare. And if you're going to be on welfare, you need it because the prices, the cost, the inflation, all of these things are high. So you do have to be able to at least make a decent living. At least you need to be able to basically provide, which is why the housing application list, the wait list is so long. So you can't have people, you can't have a system that's constantly accepting people, accepting people, accepting people. You have a shitload of people that's not going to work.
That's not
Yeah,
true,
men do it
Sandy.
every day.
Stop the cap. You know,
Men
women
don't
are
work
getting
because they don't
free
want to pay
rent,
child
free
support.
housing, and free food. Come on now.
Well, I mean, some people qualify for it, so I
Doc,
agree.
you
I
know,
agree with that.
Doc, you know, majority of these women out here are getting this free housing joint. Barely, it's barely those. I don't know why you capping for.
I'm not saying that. I think that here in Atlanta, what that looks like is more old people in the housing complexes and single parent homes. And single parent homes can be men led or female led, but they still qualify because they have
I
kids.
can name 10 females that left Memphis in the free housing program and moved to Atlanta off the top of my head.
that that is funny.
Memphis and Atlanta are like cousins.
Okay, well, name them.
Due to HIPAA laws and putting these ratchet bitches' name out in the
I was
street,
just about to
I'm
hit him
not
with
gonna
that, my
divulge it.
nigga.
But if you want me to do my
You're
DMX
not down.
voice,
You're
there
not
was
down by
Linda,
his name.
Felicia, Brenda, Talisha, Don, LaShawn, Inez,
Uh,
Alicia.
Miss Sandy, I don't know where you live, but the majority of single parent homes in Georgia are not led by women. Most
that's
women are
just
the ones that are
lie.
running away from the
How
home
can you lie
here
like
Girl,
in.
this?
stop.
No,
How
I'm
do you
just
sleep
being
at
honest.
night?
That's an issue. That's an issue here.
You are lying.
No, I'm not. That is a real issue here. You got more kids in the foster system. Look it up. It's been on the news.
Sandy, that's not true, Sandy.
I'm
Most
gonna
of
That's
need
not
you to
true.
go to zone 6, Dr.
As
Jefferson.
a man in America, if you don't work, you're gonna starve and be homeless. This
I'm
this
gonna need you to
this
go to
there's no
zone 6, Dr. Jefferson. I'm gonna need you to go to
I
zone
work
6
in
and do
zone
some
six,
research.
zone three, zone five,
Do
and
some research about who got the free housing over there.
I don't need to. Their grandparents have the free houses. So you're not listening. I'm in these houses. I'm in and out of
Hey
these houses.
man,
So
you ain't doing you
I know
doing
who's
too
in the
much.
family. I know who's in the family. So at the end of the day, these young women are the ones who are running out on their children because in Atlanta it's a thing to run out, become a stripper, and that's your whole life. Become a city girl, and that's your whole life. Leave your kids with your parents, your brother,
On
cousin, friend,
welfare.
and then
On welfare.
some daddy gonna come by and get his daughter because he don't want
on
his daughter to be another
welfare,
you.
dog.
And he,
On welfare. They got a
Yeah,
free apartment too. Why they stripping? They got a free apartment
well, they're not on
and
welfare.
food
The kid
stamps.
becomes a part. So let me make this clear: the kid becomes a part of the foster care system, and once they're a part of the foster care system, we do place them with a residential place. I mean, a familial placement. And because they're with a family placement, we do provide services with that family only for those kids, because those kids are wards of the state. So we do provide food stamps, transportation, medical care, all of those things for those children, therapy for those kids. All of that stuff is covered by the state, but those kids are still wards of the state. There are more of those kids than there are kids with any parent, period, in the home here in Georgia. That's an Atlanta issue. So, like I said, I don't know what the dynamics are for your area in your state, but right
I'm
here,
gonna need you to go on Camilton Road.
that's the yeah, on Camilton Road. It's not far.
I'm gonna need you to go to some of these zones and just do
I
research.
do.
You can
I don't
just
need to
drive
do
around.
research. I'm the person
You
providing
well
the
you
services. I'm in
why
the
are you
community.
scared to get your own empirical data?
I'm in the
You
community.
you can literally go there and ask, hey, because you know with the
I don't need
places
to
that are
ask. They
Section
know
8
me
free
by
housing.
name. I don't need to ask.
If
They know me by
if
name.
you don't
We're
ask, you
started
don't
tearing
know.
down the properties down the street in Bankhead where the projects were, where we're currently relocating them right now. So I talk about current projects. Why? Because I live here.
So
I,
so
I
you got access to the hood list.
What do you mean? I'm inside of Atlanta.
So if
They
you
don't
have
go to the
access
hood.
to
They
the
don't go to
hood
the hood
list,
list. They don't go to
so
the hood list because they don't qualify. Because they
but
do not have they have government assistance. They're a part of foster care systems and a part of the government assistance programs. Once those things are eliminated and removed from those communities and they're regentrified, because that's what they're working on right now, then they are repositioned. They have to now find somewhere else to live, which moves them in with family members down the
I
street.
said, do you got the hood list that will
Yeah, that's what
prove
I'm saying.
that
They
it's
do
more
not.
women getting that free housing than men?
So the HUD list is based off of who applies and who qualifies as a result of those applications. I already told you it's the grandparents and the aunties and uncles who are making these applications because the parents are not there. They're just not there. You want to
So
come and
all
be
these
a parent?
so all these single women out in fuck with Beulah homes and Section 8 where everything was paid for, that wasn't their shit, it was their grandparents. Even though I know it was theirs. So again, I fucked a lot of wretched bitches in my time. So I'm speaking from experience too.
In the last 10 years here in Atlanta, how many? Since 2012, how many? Because that's when the regulatory authority changed.
I just told you I can name 10 off the top of my head
You
that
got
left
10, you
Memphis
got
and
10
moved to
versus
Atlanta.
thousands of kids in foster care. So that's nothing.
I ain't talking about foster care. I'm talking about women getting free
That's where
housing via welfare.
that's where those kids came from. No women get housing. Go look it up on the what do you call it, on the website. Look up how many free housing programs are available in Atlanta. Tell me how long the wait list is. There
The
is
waiting list is long in every state in
no,
America.
there is
It's
no
not
such thing
exclusive.
anymore. It's no such thing anymore. We don't, there is no room for anybody. So when somebody else dies out, the propensity of you getting on a free housing program, a free housing voucher in Atlanta is a 0.0 percentage.
That's how it is everywhere.
It's not gonna happen. There's
But that's how it is everywhere. And
no
people get approved
abundance.
every year through the Memphis Housing Authority, which does the hood
Housing,
homes. The
nope.
list is like that.
Our housing
But
authority has no options for them, period. The places where they used to live have now been regentrified. So there is no place for them to go.
the shitty apartments that are around there start taking Section 8 and
No,
free rent
the
vouchers.
apartments around there start taking what they call income based housing
It's
assistance.
the same
So
thing.
they give them a housing credit based off of their income, and the apartment absorbs the course. I mean, the
And
cost.
if your income is
Government,
zero, if your
then they're not
income is zero,
they're not
your rent is free.
they're not accepted, and then you refer to one of these various homeless shelters where you and your kids wake up and go to sleep. After you wake up in the morning, you must leave, but you can go to sleep there, and you hope that you get there in time overnight. That's the programs here. That's what's available. That's what's available.
Candy girl, why are you upset at me? What I do, Candy girl? I didn't shame anybody.
Let me see. Mr. Brooks, what are you talking about? Okay, so since you guys didn't find any racism in this video, I'm reading y'all.
We did find racism in Finland, though.
Racism is not a thing. It's a
It,
perceptual component.
according to people in Finland, it is.
Yeah. Well, if they say they go there and they experience racism, that's their perception, but it's not. It's not a truth for me.
Who the hell is the devil? I mentioned the devil. I didn't mention the devil.
Make this make sense for me, Miss Sandy. What are you reading this comment? Look, I'm like,
Candy girl, you need help if you hate niggas online that you don't know and don't have to watch. That's weird to say. And then you call the man a devil.
who mentioned the devil? Oh, Tommy Sotomayor. Oh my god. You know what? You guys are so. I think Tommy
She
Sotomayor.
just got through talking about shaming people, then call somebody the devil.
I think that he.
Niggas are hypocrites.
But didn't he call himself that the other day when he was laying down on something on the floor or bed or something doing the show? I think he's losing his shit. You need to go get your friend.
He said he appears to still be doing well to me. I don't know why y'all think these people
He's coming
are supposed to do
unglued.
more than entertain.
Well, yeah, he's definitely entertaining, but I do feel like he's definitely coming unglued. He's been less stable than most days now. So you guys didn't find you guys didn't find racism in this video. I'm sorry. So I guess it's a lie. And now I'm gonna be called a racist because calling a black woman a liar yet again.
Why did he do a video on you, Miss Candy Girl? Oh well, you can't stand me. Well, I guess you can't stand me then. Oh well, a person that I don't know that
Why
doesn't
not?
affect my life can't stand me.
What?
Good riddance.
So why not? Why you don't? So what's going on with Thomas Sotomayor?
I don't know. She said he made a
Sandy's
video
not doing
about
nothing,
him, and
man.
then she said, I can't stand him or anyone that watches him.
She's just
I don't
emotional.
know, but
That's all that is.
typically you have to
Oh yeah.
do something for
She's way
Tommy to
behind
make a
emotion.
video on you.
She's way
Okay.
too
So
emotional. Way
okay.
too
Wait.
emotional.
So Miss Sandy,
Sandy, grow
it's
up.
not that
Be an
it's not
adult.
that people
Come on
can't
now.
experience racism everywhere. Okay. That's not the argument. The argument is racism is not a thing unless you perceive that to be racism. And even when you perceive that thing to be racism, then sometimes it's not based on the definition of racism as proven in this video, as also proven the other day, where the young lady is out here saying that a person is racist against her because they called her out for Medicaid fraud. That is not racist. That's just a person calling you out for being a fraud. You're billing fraudulent bills. I just don't understand the mindsets of some people that just, you know. What's going on? Joy Chit Chat. But so that's all I got, you guys. Since you guys weren't able to find any racism in this video, then I'm gonna have to
Not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend, and I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist, and for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that
okay,
seed's already sown.
but that is why I'm saying for me, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. 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 So there were no lies told. There were no lies told. The seed has already been sowed. She already called her whole racist. Why? Because it's a black woman that is being called a liar. Good God. It's terrible. It's terrible. So, like I said, you guys, I've replayed it several times. If you find the racism in this video, if you find the racism in this video, please do me a favor and just type the number of where it is in the show that you found the racism, because obviously I got my racism blinders on, and that happens. That definitely happens sometimes because I think that success can blind you. Sometimes, you can be so successful in your own objectives in life, and then you can be so successful in elevating other people success in life. You can be so successful in removing the undue biases and vicarious traumas from other people, and then all of a sudden you see successful outcomes from them, and you can see that racism wasn't what was holding them back. It was them holding themselves back. They were the oppressor. Go figure. I think that these are definitely things that happen. Do I think that racism is a thing in America? I think racism is a thing every place where a black person exists. You want to know why? If a black person feels like they are being discriminated against, whatever they feel becomes their reality. It's their shared experience, it's their truth, it's their perception. So therefore, it's as valid as any other reality that they perceive. Belief systems is what shape our perceptions. Ask yourself, what do you believe? Your capacity to be, because you're black. So that's all I got, you guys. Money Boy Trey, tell these people where to find your toxic ass.
You can find me on Money Boy Trey. TR3Y. That's it.
See, he one of them same black people that's changing the language to fit his own agenda. Just kidding.
Yep. I'm like everybody else. I ain't no dummy.
And you can find Rush on Money Boy Trey's account.
Illuminati, you heard?
I just
No,
can't.
I'm not a part of that, guys.
He's trying
But
to remain sucker free.
I'm always sucker free, always. Yeah, man.
Whatever that
What I'm
means.
saying. We're not gonna come to agreement with the stock, but definitely, I'm gonna take a look at your perspective, which I know I'm not gonna agree with. But salute to you, Doc. You know what I mean? For you guys out there, seek wisdom, practice humility, and remain sucker free.
Oh my God. People are just crazy. I'm sorry that happened to you, Candy Girl. People will always mistake you because this is the internet. Like that's what they
She wasn't mistaken. She said she didn't know that she was being recorded, but she said this on a public platform. So
but
it
she
didn't matter
said
if she like
somebody asked for her opinion. And
and
so
she gave it. There's nothing
opinion,
wrong with it.
yeah,
She
but if
said
I
she
go
would have
back and
worded.
I screenshot, if I go back and I record something and take it to you, so you know what, you guys, I was done, but here I go. Okay,
Yes, come on, because
let's
because
talk about
I gotta walk
let's
this
talk about
scenario down.
let's talk about this because Money Boy Trey has an affiliation with a guy out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know
She
how they are.
mentioned two people.
Hold
She
on.
mentioned two people.
Hold on, wait for it. I can't remember how close you guys are, but I will say that this guy is a male that has a gossip channel. A gossip channel. A whole gossip. It's a male though. And we talk about male characteristics and female characteristics and
You
things.
talking about manly gossip? I don't fuck with that nigga.
So there is a possibility that people's comments, commentary, opinions, facts even that they are relaying can be mistaken for their own personal insights, truths, and belief systems because some people in life can be looking for some negative shit. So you can have somebody screenshot something and take it back to another person because
Screen
they're just
recorded.
messy as hell. That's
But you said
so
it though.
wait,
If you
wait,
said something disparaging,
oh wait.
then that's what you felt. And the people,
Mm-mm.
the issue is she felt like that She gave her opinion, and that's where it should have ended. She said Tariq and Tommy made videos on her based off what she said in the screen recording. But she said it on a public platform, screenshotted or not. They could have been
Okay,
watching the show. They could have been
okay,
listening to the
okay,
show.
okay. So here's the thing: if they were watching the show and listening to the show, that's one thing. But for another person to go back and report on you to another man, it's something wrong with that person. That's the first thing.
Yes,
The
but
second
it
thing,
still was said on a public platform, though.
but wait, even if it's said on a public platform, why would somebody be so desperate to look for something to give you as a man to talk about, to
That's
review, to combat, and it's another person's personal opinion that you don't know?
that's
That
how all
doesn't
the
so you
that but that's literally how all this shit that we talk about on the internet goes. Everybody we talk about, we don't know, and we
yeah,
give our
so you
opinions.
don't take it personally. There you go. So the biggest component is who takes it personally. If you take it personally, then you know.
Well, apparently she took it personally because they just responded. They gave their opinion of what she said. That's why I was like, well, it seems like a fair exchange. You gave that your opinion. They both gave their opinion. It should be even
Had they
based on
both
what you said.
platform at the same time, I would totally agree. But when I feel like when another person grabs something specific that another person says and has to take it back to a third party source, what that says
Welcome
is
to YouTube, Dr. Jefferson.
you need to feel. I didn't say that YouTube streets were not borderline narcissistic in the way that they behave. I talked about Kwame Brown and his move to YouTube versus his normal Instagram, Facebook streets.
I personally have I tell all the people that I fuck with, look, I don't want to hear about people talking to me. Don't bring that shit to me. But that's just me.
But that's the
But
point. I think
other people do it for
that,
content.
but that's what I'm saying. If that's only the content that you can create, if that is the capacity in which you are able to do things and it's not meaningful, the only thing that you want to do is be out here in these streets and waste people's time. Oh, I'm sorry. That's literally what black people gravitate to. That's my point.
Yeah, because I'm about to say I
Brandon?
can't judge. That's
Oh,
the
I'm judging.
majority of our entertainment.
I'm
No, I'm
here for accountability. This is
Oh,
accountability.
I judge, but I judge people. But one thing I'm not going to do is tell people how they should get their money when they're successful at getting their money the way that they do. So that it's not right for me to say you
If
shouldn't get your money that way because they've been successful at it.
Of course. So Tommy Sotomayor, I agree. Tommy Sotomayor is a person who is strictly for entertainment, and he makes that very clear. If he
Tariq Nasheed is too. This nigga, he done been in movies.
so,
He done been on reality shows. He done wrote books. He a pimp. He's an
however,
entertainer.
I've not seen him run back and do all of this. I'm gonna screenshot this and take it back to you and ask you this question.
You ain't
I
you
have,
haven't looked hard enough.
I
Tariq
have
Nasheed
seen
is
him.
always beefing
I
with
have.
people.
So wait, no, I've seen him beef with people. That's not the point. I've not seen him exercise some of these behaviors that I see many of these other content creators behave in and do. So the thing about
How do you think Tariq Nasheed gets information about people? How do you think he finds out that people talked about him? He's not saying all of this shit. There are people sending him stuff.
I'm pretty sure.
So it's a normal thing, especially in YouTube and entertainment, for people to send you stories
Oh,
about
so
people talking about you or random shit.
So if a person is sending you a story where people are specifically talking about you, the content creator that is talking about you then can be addressed in said video. If I'm a person who is giving my opinion and I'm not the main content creator and I'm answering a question as to what my perceptions are based on where I sit, then if you're going to make a video of me or in response to my content, then you should at least have the courtesy to tag me in it. So there is a right way and a wrong way to do anything. The fact that men really are obsessing over the fact and really are gravitating to the abundance of gossiping, men, that you guys are doing that and you think it's okay, but at the same time and in the same
Oh,
energy,
I didn't
y'all
say
want
it's
to check
okay.
other
I
men.
said,
No, wait.
I,
And in the same energy, y'all want to check other men and say, oh, wait, why are you wearing a dress? Y'all want to cancel Lil Nas X? Like, y'all really, You make it make sense.
Don't put me in the y'all.
My problem is there is an abundance of black men who say that men need to be doing men shit, but here it is that y'all men are doing women shit. There has never
Touche.
in the history of history been a male gossip column.
Touche. Niggas is
So
different in
gossip,
2021.
literally, the word gossip is something that for the longest of time was limited
Was
to women.
attributed to women. And you know what? We got on this man several times and said, bro, ain't nobody gonna take you seriously with that name. And he said he riding with it. I can't, but I salute him for saying, fuck y'all, I'm gonna ride with the name that I gave myself. Don't agree with it, but the brother has cojones to even stick with that name.
I doubt it.
I mean, he could have changed it.
If the brother had cojones, then when he made his comment on my page, he went and went back and, and removed it.
Well, welcome to these YouTube streets, man.
Welcome to him. So,
That's what they do. That's I ignore a lot of shit.
oh, it
That's
ain't.
because
It's not
I
about.
just
It's not about ignoring. It's just about. I'm a very direct person. So if I say something and if you take offense to it, whether you're dumb as hell and you realize that you got your facts wrong or you listened wrong or whatever it is, right? I expect for you to keep that same energy. So have a conversation or have the decency to at least leave the comment so that people
I
can
ain't gonna have no conversation.
at least say what you're going to say and say it with your chest, as they say, right? However, what I notice is there are a lot of men who don't go out here and do men things, they do women things.
He light skinned. He don't count.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
That mean he ain't black. He don't count. Fucking
So
Pender Hughes looking mother.
she said, so YouTube is just for women. Well, I mean, the vast majority of YouTube's content creators that are making the vast majority of money outside of the rhetoric between manosphere and female sphere with Kevin Samuels and Cynthia G and those folks are actually female content creators making beauty videos. Just saying. That's what the stats say. Um,
I can agree. It's a lot of males that do celebrity gossip.
mm-hmm. I
They
started.
know all the tea. They know all the Tasha K's and shit. This is what they do, and this is what they talk about.
I mean,
I've
there's
never
definitely
done it.
I definitely feel like there is a I feel like there is a so journalism I do feel is a completely separate thing altogether. But even with journalism, for the longest of time, you saw women more so than you see men. But that's the thing when you're melding, together as one, and that equality component comes there. So when do you differentiate and say, well, these are male features and these are female features. So then when your men start doing the same thing, start wearing the same amount of makeup, when you start doing the same amount of blush, doing the same amount of prep, you know what I mean? So there are a lot of things I think that the black community have got to go back and ask yourself, are these contradictions congruent with my framework of my belief systems? And I think that black men have an abundance of contradictions in your rhetoric. Like you guys will say, men got to do men shit. You guys will say, look at Boosie, cancel Lil Nas X. You guys will say, oh, all of this culture of gender fluid acceptance is causing our young men to be gay. But then you go out here and you'll do these things that are the same things that women do. Or you'll go out here and you'll perform sexual acts that are the same thing that gay men perform, anal sex, and you'll call it different
It is different.
because it's the females
It
asshole. But it's
is.
asshole altogether. I just feel like, come on,
Ma'am, it's a mouth too, but I'm not
right?
letting a dude suck my dick, and I'm not fucking a dude in his ass, even though they both got the same thing. That no, you. That's why I draw the line with your feminism spiel. I listen to everything else, but no, you gotta stop.
This isn't feminism spiel. This
Now
is
that was a feminism spiel that you just gave, but I'm not offended by it
he's
because I don't consider
asking.
myself part of this black community that you described anyway.
It's
The
me
folks I
asking.
fuck with don't do that shit.
No, it's me asking the difficult question. I'd like to know where the line of delineation is drawn. Like what is
You
man being? When you say men should do men shit, help me understand it. That's all I'm saying. Make it make sense.
that you would have to ask one of them Manosphere brothers. I wouldn't know.
I do, but every time they give me the same old school behaviors of men shit. And the reality is that's not what they're doing.
Hey, I've still wanted to know what a real man is myself, and so your guess is as good as mine.
Interesting.
But now everything else I can listen with and agree with until you drew the line with the anal sex pod. No, ma'am.
Just because you're out here doing things that gay men do don't make you gay. I'm just saying that it is a point to be.
That's the only choice gay men have, ma'am.
Well, they got other choices too.
They got a mouth and an ass. Women got 3 choices.
I'm just telling you. I'm just bringing up the very difficult topics that have been brought to my channel. Because by the way, you guys, my next feature is that topic talking
We're
about.
doing anal. We're doing an anal sex show. Damn it.
Well, they want me to talk about Boosie. I've gotten a lot of material about doing a show because Boosie said that you need to go ahead cancel Lil Nas X because he's a reason that all these boys are going out here in women's clothes and doing women things. So
Lil Nas X has no effect on my children that don't watch him.
I don't know.
Lil
Agree,
Boosie just a
Candy
nut
Girl.
any damn way.
He is. He is just unchained. That guy. Man, talk about women. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out with me, my good people. Dang, how I still go 3 hours? I said I wasn't gonna let nobody on this thing.
Kevin is doing God's work. God damn it.
So I appreciate the entertainment. Big shout out to the chat because you guys are always so great. But like I said earlier, I do want you guys to go back and identify the racism that is. Find the racism. When you find the racism, bam, tag it. Let me know where it's at so I can go back to the video and review it myself. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking for it. Right? I would love to hold Sharon accountable because damn it, Sharon, you're racist. You should never call a black woman a liar. It's fucking illegal. Say what I said, you guys. Later days. Bye.
Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.